Hey, what's going on, Uncle Mike? You going to the show? We're about to leave now.
Oh. Hey, Nicky Nick. Yeah, I'm getting ready now. Yeah, I'll see you at the show. Yeah, I'm trying a new fashion statement. You know, I always try to be a trendsetter, but so yeah, I'll be towards the middle. Just look for the sexiest MF there, and yeah, I'll see you when you get there.
All right. All right. Yeah, you shouldn't be hard to find. I'm kind of scared. All right. I'll see you there, Uncle Mike. Goodbye.
All right, Nicky Nick. See you soon, brother. Bye. How y'all doing? Mike Stefani, Mike's Monitors here.
Nicky Nick, Unlimited Exotics. What's going on, guys?
And together we are Monitor Brains Podcast. And we got another great show for tonight. So, you know, Uncle Mike's an old dog. Nicky Nick, not so much. But, you know, going back to the beginning of all of this reptile stuff, obviously, there was a point when there was, in my lifetime, when there was no internet at all. Then it started with like the whole, I guess it would be the .com boom. I mean, because I'm not technically, but in those days, in the early days of the internet, I believe in 1998, Kingsnake.com was a thing. It was an internet thing. And they had, you know, classifieds, forums for all, you know, they had Garter Snake forum, Monitor forum, I don't know, Gray Banded King Snake forum, and that was the place to be. And it was really, really, it was cool. It was something totally new and fresh, and it was really cool. And because of, and we'll get into this more when our guests come on, but because of that Kingsnake.com, that kind of launched off other forums. Like there was Varanus.net, Varanus NL, which was like in the Netherlands or something. But it was really cool. So, yeah, it was a great place to share information. You know, we kind of, it was internet beefs. I mean, yeah, you know, it is what it is. I try not to get into it. I take people for face value. And, you know, once you prove yourself not so face value, then, you know, that
it was different back then too, Uncle Mike. It was,
what's that?
It was a different place back then. I came in around that time, and people didn't socialize the way they do now. It was kind of like people were neutral until somebody did something bad, and then they just went back and forth. And I got caught up even in that when I was first coming in. But everybody now either meets each other at shows or talks on social media. It's a different world now.
Yeah, absolutely.
But with that, we still need these amazing platforms. Maybe not the forums as much, but to talk back and forth with people about animals, just in general.
Yeah, you know, I think you brought up a good point there, Nicky Nick. So I don't do what was before Facebook? There was something before Facebook.
MySpace.
Okay, I never did MySpace, so I don't really know what that was about. And then, I don't know, years later, years later, my kids told me, Dad, you got to get a Facebook. I'm like, I don't, who wants to see my face in a book? You know, I don't. And they were, you know, describing it to me. And then I started playing with it a little bit. And now I think I'm a big shot with it. And then Instagram came out and I went back to the bottom of the class. So yeah, it's ever evolving. But so yeah, I think the forums might become obsolete because why go to there when all you got to do is go to Facebook or Instagram and everybody's already there. I don't know.
The groups kind of took over the forums, the groups in these social media things, but I could be wrong. If you want, maybe that's more for like novice people. We'd have to talk more with our guests about these forums and stuff like that. They would know better than us, but maybe these forums are making a comeback for like expert level keepers. People like that.
Yeah, and I think, you know, I'm dying to see because, you know, like, you know me, Nick, I'm technology challenged or whatever. But yeah, it was so, and back then it was literally Fauna Classifieds and Kingsnake.com were the only online, besides everybody else had their own, you know, little website or whatever. But I mean, Kingsnake.com was so easy to use, the classifieds.
Yep.
And then when that went away, you know, I still did, what's the other one? Fauna Classifieds. I still did Fauna Classifieds. Then things came out like with John Lyman, I believe that was. He started Morph Market, and I didn't know how to resize photos. I didn't know where they were supposed to go.
Well, that's how Fauna was too. Fauna was the most difficult website I've ever used in my entire life. It was terrible.
Yeah. I once I figured out the size photo that they accept, it was okay. But literally, I don't know, man. I'm so technology challenged. I'm glad I don't have to use Morph Market. Because yeah, it's just like I said, Nick. So there was this one time I said, you know what? I'm going to figure this out. And I sat there 8 a.m. and I got animals everywhere. 8 a.m. It was about 3:30 in the afternoon. I finally got my 3 ads up. And I went to bed showing my wife. I'm like, look at what I did. Oh, yeah, you did good. My kids come over the next day. I'm like, hey, kids, let me show you what I did. I go to Morph Market. Like, my ads ain't there. I'm like, what the heck? So I go to page 2. My ads ain't there. Page 3. My ads ain't there. Page 4. I got down to page 5.
Yep.
And literally, that's where my stuff was. So it took me 8 hours of the day. And just to wind up on page 5 the next day, I don't know what goes on, how that works. But I said, screw this. Too much work.
Yep. I hear you, Uncle Mike.
So
there's so much we could talk about these sites, but I'm kind of eager to get these guys in here and talk more about it with the professionals. So
sounds good.
Let's get them in here.
A quick commercial break.
What's going on, guys? So if you guys have been watching the podcast or anything Uncle Mike and I have been doing, I probably don't even need to say what I'm about to say, but let's be honest. Life gets busy, life gets crazy, and sometimes you just need a helpful reminder. And today, I'm here to be that helpful reminder. Get to USARK.org and get those annual subscriptions, or get to your local show and donate an animal or donate goods, anything you can to try to help. Again, anything helps. $5, whatever you can do, helps us. These legislators are trying to come for us when we're not paying attention and pass these laws, slip them in other bills, and really trying to catch us off guard so we can't keep these animals and we can't sit here and have a podcast about how to keep them. So don't let them do that to us, guys. We all are here for the same reason. If it's a ball python, if it's a monitor lizard, we all love reptiles. So let's keep it together, stay a community, and get behind USARK, someone that has our backs. Let's have theirs.
We are going to welcome today
John Poff
and
Cindy Steinle.
And Cindy Steinle.
Hey, guys.
What's up, Mikey?
Hey, there they go. So we had our introductions, and me and you, Cindy, we go way back because we're kind of like homies from the same Midwest area.
Oh yeah.
And so, with me and Nick, in the beginning of the show, we were talking about the early days. Now, and I just met you, John, so don't think I'm ignoring you. I just know Cindy was back there in those days. So back in those days, it would have to be late 90s, mid 90s, something like that, 98, something like that. There wasn't a lot of I should say I didn't know much of internet stuff. And I discovered Kingsnake.com, and literally I discovered the classifieds because everybody wants to buy stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So that from there, it was a month. It was a many-month progression. Oh, wow, a forum. What's a forum? I click on the forum. So then I got involved with the forums. And
the Monitor forums. They were epic.
They were
Frank
epic.
Reedus. Oh, my lovely Frank, my beloved Frank.
Wow. You're like the only person I ever heard say that. But that, hey, I got no beef with Frank.
Frank and I met in person, and he begged me not to hit him. And his wife told me I could.
Ah, so did you?
You had permission.
No, I did not.
You did not.
But he did beg me not to for all the headaches.
Nice. Oh yeah. So
Frank,
that's what I'm saying. So Cindy, you were always an administrator or a person, a cog in the wheel, so to speak, who really kept everything going. And we were just talking before we brought you guys out how I'm low tech. I'm surprised I got all this stuff turned on tonight. So whatever.
You're done.
Literally. Well, no, Nicky Nick's been guiding me for the past few months, so I got it pretty good. But so here's my point. My point was this. Kingsnake.com classifieds for a knucklehead like me, I found it very easy to post your ads, right? Where after it went away, or not that it went away, it's like other things became like, what was it, Nick?
Look, it was Facebook that really killed us because people were advertising for free there.
That's true.
And then by the time Facebook clamped down on the free advertising, the next generation who hadn't heard of us were on to the next newer thing. And people like you who weren't comfortable with the next newer couldn't move stuff on us.
Yeah.
Right. So, but like you said, the forums were all fantastic. I was part of like the Garter Snake forum, all this stuff that I'm interested in. So, John, bring us into like how you purchased it. You purchased the Kingsnake rights or whatever. Tell us about that?
Yeah. Okay. So through that, I guess like we purchased all of the data and everything. So, and I'd say we, I mean, I guess like, my wife and I anyway. And so, so we purchased all of that. So we have the servers, we have all of the different pieces of this. And a big part of that comes down to, like you mentioned, some of the other forums and such in your intro there. We lost some of those, right? Like those websites shut down, and then all of that knowledge and everything from those forums and such gone.
Yeah.
Right.
Crazy.
And so that's something that then now is preserved with Kingsnake. We're keeping that. All of that is going to maintain there. I mean, it's fascinating reading all back through there, all the big names and such. I mean, there's some big names I was reading in the Heloderma forum just recently, because obviously it's a passion one, but and so some of the people in there, it was great. Yes. So does that answer your question at all?
Yeah.
Yes. But so how do you, like, so Cindy, forgive my ignorance, but like MySpace became a thing. I never knew what that was. Then Facebook and Instagram, and now they got TikTok and the little @ thing, messages or whatever it is. How do you bring Kingsnake.com .com, which was a huge .com, I would imagine. That was probably a really big .com. How do you bring that into the Facebook, Instagram era?
Yeah. Okay.
So-
Couple of different things. And so some of that is, I think it's the right time for it, right? As Cindy called out, the Facebook really clamped down on animal sales. That was kind of why people left, is like things changed. It was easier to post pictures and some of that there. You could post higher quality pictures. To your point in the intro about resizing pictures, it was a pain in the butt on Kingsnake.
Yep.
We have now addressed that, where if you do mobile.kingsnake is where it is right now, is kind of our test to have gotten it out there. Through the classifieds, you can upload a picture through your phone and we will resize it for you. You don't have to mess with it. It just gets done for you. So low tech, make it simple. Let's go.
Yeah.
So
Beautiful.
So I could go way deeper on that topic, and I'm sure we'll get into it. But that's part of it, right? Is like, we need to update it. That it was, Kingsnake got left behind. Frankly, the old owner bet against Facebook and was wrong. Facebook had some great things to it, and now Kingsnake needs to adapt and do that. This, I think, goes well, if we stay on that topic for a moment, one of the big ones, you guys mentioned the forums. Actually, I think that's more critical now than ever. Half of the things you post onto Facebook will get pulled down. If you say the wrong thing, your post is going to get pulled down completely. Whereas on Kingsnake, if you call somebody names, right, we're going to probably censor that a little bit. Curse words, we're going to censor that a little bit, right?
Yep.
No, you can't call no one Richard Head, right?
I mean, look, I'm not going to, I hate censorship a lot.
Yeah,
so
me too.
I'm going to try to just not answer that one. How about that?
Richard Head would actually get through our profanity.
No, look, stop.
See, you got to be slick. You got to be slick a little, right, Cindy?
Mike has played our game, but it may not get through our moderation filters.
Right.
Got to use emojis.
And
That's
you
the
might
best
get
way.
a message saying that's not nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I couldn't come up with a good argument, so I resorted to name calling, right? By Kingsnake. You know, like, it may just be things like this, because the fact is, you're going to say something like, oh, you Richard Head, blah, 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 blah. This is why you're wrong, and explain. And what you're going to put in there is such good information for the rest of us that it is darn near a crime to remove all of that, right?
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the thing. So when we've thought about this with Kingsnake, kind of the two things that we've come up to guide us are that Kingsnake is for everyone and that Kingsnake makes us smarter. If we focus on those two things, we're going to do great things for the community, and it comes back because people want to be here. So like at the censorship thing, right? Come back to the forums. Okay, give me a little bit, like we're close to updating those to where, hey, you don't have to click into each thread. You click on the topic and everything's there. We're close.
Very cool.
So come back to those, right? Have real discussions about stuff where you can actually show a deformed animal that was born and discuss why that happened and help educate the public and stuff on it, right? So same sort of thing, like we don't have the best term for it, but like the scientific side of Kingsnake, really leaning into this side of it with real good articles from people like you, that you guys have bred and produced so many animals and know so much just kind of without thinking about it, that the stuff that you all could write and provide to the community, these are the things that we want to lean into as well. You're also 100% right about the classifieds. This is why we updated those first, because that with Facebook clamping down on that, really all that's available to the community is Morph Market. And again, kind of on the level of censorship, and I'm not saying anything about them. I'm just saying that generally so many things have some sort of weird algorithm behind what gets surfaced where. Come back to Kingsnake where it's a simple time, right? If you publish at 8 a.m. and someone else publishes at 8:10, guess what? Theirs is going to be there and yours is going to be here. And when you come back tomorrow, you know how it's going to be centered? The same way, right? Except there's going to be a couple other people in there. That's it. This makes it easy and fair for everyone. All of the sellers, it's fair to you. right? Compared to anybody else. Also,
Right.
as a user, it's fair to us. You can go see what you've seen and what you haven't easily.
Yep.
So
Right.
these are kind of things, right? Like, so to answer your question, if we do the right stuff for the community, right? If we make people smarter, if we make it a space where the newbie can come and learn the basics, or somebody can come and go to the PhD level deep on different articles and papers, which we've got vets that are signing up to write for us. We have doctors that are signing, you know, other great people in the field that have provided stuff to us already. Like, these are the things that we're working towards to do, is help make people smarter and give them a space to really discuss.
That sounds awesome.
Why
It's
this
really cool.
is better or different than Facebook or Insta or places like that. This is where you can escape. This is where you can go and escape with your reptiles, because you will not be inundated with the real
Political
world.
or yeah,
No
political.
political. There's none of that. This is
From-
your escape zone. You are not.
Right.
This is that free zone. This is where you come to talk about the animals, your reptiles, your amphibians, your turtles, your crocodilians, your venomous, your inverts. This is that zone only. And you don't get inundated with ads unless you go to the classifieds. And you don't have the politics thrown at you.
Yep.
No matter what side you're on, this is an escape from all of that.
And that's a great point too, because in
That
all the
is-
groups. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Everywhere you go, you cannot escape that.
Yep.
And this is somewhere that you can go talk about your animals, because it even comes up in the groups.
Yep. And on Facebook
Yeah,
too. Not
I-
only do you have Facebook moderating you, you have these group admins that have political views and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's a great thing to avoid all of that. with
You know,
personal-
it's the funny thing. Over the years, I get, I don't know, at least a couple a week. Hey man, why'd you pull down my post? I'm like,
Yep,
what are
me too.
you talking about? Well, ain't you the admin? I'm like, no. I don't even know. I guess there's a place that like I am an admin. I didn't even know it. I'm like, dude, people put me on there, I guess, as an admin all the time. I don't even know what to do. You know, I mean, unless it was like, I don't know. Like, for example, I know they'll close down groups if you put Exoterra $200, you know. So if I ever see stuff like that, I know that's going to get pulled by anybody. But if it's somebody wants to know why their green iguana is eating peanut butter, I don't touch that with a 10-foot pole. I have, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
that's the thing. So I think that a lot of people that do get things pulled down on Facebook groups, it's from people who just have an opinion, maybe not so much experience. It's just their opinion, you know, and like people are soft nowadays, for real. They're really soft. So and I don't like that piling on stuff. I do not like that when people come with a simple question, a newbie, and everybody starts hitting them. I don't like that stuff at all.
Agreed.
But in the same breath, you know, you gotta maybe think about what you're writing in, because of these types of admins, where it sounds to me like Kingsnake.com is going for a more professional level, to where if you do get a hit or whatever, like an admin strike or whatever they call it, that it's warranted. It's not just somebody who's mad at this guy. You know what I mean?
And I could be wrong, but I think on Kingsnake you'd have a more like directed approach, where like on everybody has a Facebook where they just go on there and babble, where like you have to go to Kingsnake and have a be part of the community already before you just dive
There
in.
is and there is a set terms of service.
Yep.
And there was before. I know for a while we had that one special admin who was she sniped people, but it'll be more like when I did it, Mike, and it was even
And it
handed
sounds like-
fair. And
Yeah,
It
it
sounds
was.
like you like the way
You
you
were
run
always
yours.
very fair, Cindy. Even when something
It'll be-
needed to be done, you were always understanding and fair about the way you did it. It
It'll-
wasn't. coming from a place of malice,
It'll be like that.
Yeah.
That's how it'll be run.
That's
Nice.
That's very much how it'll be. Yep. It sounds like it's more like how you run your group, Mike, of let people discuss things unless you're way out of line on stuff. And even that you get censored by those. And that's one of the unique things about us is being on our own servers and some of these pieces that Facebook can't censor us. Amazon and their cloud can't censor us. Microsoft and their cloud cannot censor us. Wow. And so it really does it becomes that one of those last free areas of free speech that way, and so come have that real discussion.
So for lack of, go on, Nick.
I love that. That's what turned me off with all of the other sites like Fauna and Morph Market, because you feel like it's a political game and you can't even voice or say what you want to.
You could come onto our platform tomorrow and say that you hate my beard and hate me. And guess what? You'll be able to post the next day. I'm not like, you know what I mean? And so we've seen the opposite in pretty much anything else that you can imagine. And I just really don't like that. And so that's really a guiding principle for me behind this of, come here, be reasonable, have some reasons behind stuff, but ultimately more so you're going to come here and learn things.
Yeah.
The fact that we've got vets and people, of your type of caliber, Mike and Nick and, titans that want to write and provide information and such there, the way, like, I'll give you a good example. We're going to revamp how we do the, so, okay, imagine it this way. Like you go to like the Milk Snake forum. From there, you've got kind of a quick section that'll give you localities. It'll give you morphs, kind of basic info and such about them. So you can get kind of that piece there. Same sort of thing then if you land on the classifieds. You'd get that same sort of information there quick and easy. So we'll have that kind of taxonomy info that'll help explain those. We've gotten those from a couple of people already. So I'm quite excited about this piece. This should teach all of us. And then Cindy, I haven't even got a chance to talk to you about this. This just happened. We have gotten an agreement with USARK where we're going to work with a bunch of the law data that they have and kind of revamp how that is for kind of the same sort of thing to make it easier for people to roll through some of that stuff and understand, can I have X in my state or not? And kind of think through the classifieds. So I'm absolutely thrilled at their willingness to work with us and help provide that info and get that back out to the public in another way and in another place. So
fantastic.
Yeah. The reptile community is I mean, it's a multifaceted thing. Okay. There's, groups within groups and, cliques within cliques and so on and so forth. But I think what with those many facets, what people tend to lose sight of is if you're talking about reptiles and amphibians, creepy crawlies, we're all in the same thing. We got to stop all of that. This guy does that and that guy, and I'm guilty of it too, because I crack on a ball python community all the time. But that's just me. But hey, you know what? I'm talking about the ball python community.
Snakes I have in my house, and I crack on them. Oh no, I have one constrictor. Sorry.
Here's the thing, though. I crack on them, but honestly, I mean, over the last 20 years, that's the community that makes all the money.
Yeah.
Well, they're the gateway, right? Like
they bring people in.
And like, that's the cool thing. Like the last, I don't know, 6, 8 months, 12 months, probably talking to people at expos and that. So many people are like, oh yeah, like I've got a couple of ball pythons, but I found this thing that I am super into. And I absolutely, and they just like give you this dissertation about this one locale of, fill in the blank that they absolutely love. And it's, so ball pythons have been great. And they've helped people learn genetics, right? So we can rag on if we want, but the same thing. There's a lot of goodness there. And so you are right, though, too. Like I've seen this in a couple of the communities where, people are trying to even push like me at this point to pick sides of different stuff. And like, look, you guys, come to the forum, please, and discuss both of those sides where that you are allowed to express your side of it completely openly. They can express theirs, and the rest of us are going to learn. It's going to be like Yasser and Nick Mutton 20 years ago when I was reading that through the forums and just enjoying every piece of it and learning all that I could, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the memories that they can create for us. And so we'll see if they do.
So is
fun.
Kingsnake, is the new Kingsnake still a .com, I guess? Yeah or no? So
it's
the
same
.com.
site, Mike.
What?
It's the same site. It's a
It's
.com.
the same. Well, because Facebook and Instagram, that's not .com, right? I mean, that's
It is, but I know what you mean, Uncle Mike. I think this was my next question. Are you guys going to take it to an app? Like take it to an easy, accessible app on your phone?
So
we have a shortcut right now, not an app. And I am working on, and we should have out very shortly, a little step-by-step for an Android and an iPhone on how to make a little, on your home screen, just where you press a button and it takes you there.
Yeah.
But we don't have the app quite yet, and John can comment on that.
I don't know if we'll do an app because part of that is like our whole thing about not being censored, right?
Gotcha.
We run through
Didn't even think about that.
Exactly. Right. And so this is the piece that kind of holds me back from a bunch of that is that if a big part of what we're doing is free speech, right? And allowing people that safe place, that open place to have that discussion on all of those. And that I'm going to do everything I can to prevent anybody else from telling us what we can and can't discuss up there or how any of that goes. And so that's where I'm hopeful that through kind of, as Cindy described, just this simple little shortcut where, I mean, I have it as just a simple button on my phone and all of that too, that hopefully that'll help in the short term on all of that for everybody. I have an idea too of another like halfway step where we can do it and not be censored by those guys.
Yep.
So there you go. There's a short, long answer.
Serious, because I'm lazy with stuff like that. So I always want to just go in there and click on it. So it's cool that there's a shortcut even. Just something.
Yeah, it's literally 3 steps from Chrome on
literally I can walk you through it in 5 seconds right now. You have your phone?
Yeah.
What do you have, iPhone or
iPhone?
Okay, go to mobile.kingsnake.com.
Okay.
Let me remind myself for sure on this one. Hold on.
So obviously Android is something different.
It's actually about the same. So if you're Android, you could be doing the same thing right now. Go to mobile.kingsnake.com.
I'm on it.
This is basically like the beta version of our classifieds, the new version that works better on mobile, where you can upload your photo, all the fun stuff, right?
Cool.
And
so
if it doesn't work, Mike, I can send you the screenshots for Android when we're done.
Yep. And so on iPhone, click the 3 dot button and then click on share.
Okay.
Then click on the 3 dots again for more. And there's a button that is add to home screen.
I'm an idiot.
Wow.
I'll do it later, Cindy.
I'll send you the screenshots, Mikey.
So check it out. Look at that. Kingsnake making us smarter right there.
That's awesome.
You got it? You got it, Nicky Nick?
Yeah, I got it.
Mike,
Nice.
if you go on yours, go to mobile.kingsnake.com. Whatever.
I just did it, and it said site couldn't be reached, but it's not you or the thing. It's me. I know it.
So that answers the question. Forget an app.
John, I'll send him the
That's good enough.
screenshots, and he'll do the step-by-step.
Yeah, let me do it that way because we'll waste time with my dumb ass. So, okay, there's strike number 1. First swear. So
Uncle Mike, we'll FaceTime later. I'll walk you through it.
all right. So John, like I said before, I've known Cindy forever. I'm just meeting you now. Do you have a computer background? A snake? You know what are you all about?
The community. No, okay. So I had to. I'm sorry. It was too accurate. But so I guess it's not really a joke. So I can't say jokes aside because that is true. This is why all this is happening, right? Well, I work with a couple of animals. So mostly with Heloderma. So Gila monsters, beaded lizards. I guess Where to start? I'm gonna jump around a little bit, but I'll give you some background. I started catching garter snakes and stuff when I was a little kid out in the yard, putting them in fish tanks, feeding them fish and all the different stuff, dirt and plants from the outside. And after that, was able to get like a proper like boa, and so I got a rosy boa. Had that snake for, I don't know, 20 years or better, long time. And so cool snake. Ended up working at a pet store, bred a couple of boa constrictors and such there. Super into like the Hog Island boas, are still an absolute favorite of mine. This was the late 90s, early 2000s, kind of there. It's where I started on Kingsnake and that, reading everything I could kind of through that. That really got me into the Gilas and the beadeds, but that was also one of where absolutely didn't have that kind of money at that point. Just like, I mean, I don't know that I have that money now, but but absolutely at that point. But it was one of those two where then, you know, dreaming about it, thinking about it, like those are ones I'd really like to work with, reading as much as I could, seeing those. I was actually a pre-vet student, ended up not getting into vet school, so ended up being fine. Still worked at a veterinary hospital for like 7 years, like same time working at pet stores and stuff like this as well. After that, kind of through there, not getting into vet school, ended up working for some random for a company for a while. Met my wife, it was great, best thing, right? Smart move.
Yeah.
Then a little bit after that, ended up going and working for tech for a while. Kind of through this time period, got rid of some of my animals, sold a bunch of them off. I'd kept venomous for a while, like a couple of cobras. I did the Theris squamager, those guys, the Gaboon viper, a couple of different stuff there. I'd done tegus. I didn't really do much with the monitors though. I did a couple of black and white tegus and such. What other interesting ones can I think of? Amazon tree boas were another one that I enjoyed. Of course, like crested geckos and some of that. A couple of those guys, they were cool. Anyway, then worked in tech for a while, and then a couple of those big companies, doing some fun stuff around there. Ended up leaving corporate life a while ago, and somewhere within that time period towards the end, my wife and I had a real big discussion about, well, should we open a pet store near where we are, because we could do it right, do some cool things. Like I'd always wanted to work with Gilas and beadeds and all of this, you know, in a meaningful way. And we ended up deciding, no, we won't do that, but go ahead and start on like the Gilas and beadeds, which led into a couple of boas as well, a couple of boa morphs, and the Hog Islands got a nice group of pure ones there. One of the funniest stories probably on that one was that the first beaded lizard, stepping back in time a little bit, I'd found when my wife and I were, you know, kind of first together, I'd found a green tree python on Craigslist. This thing was covered in shed. I mean, like 4 or 5 layers.
Wow.
I took that one, showed it to him, like, honey, like, can we please? Right? Okay, fine. We got him, you know, hours of soaking him, helping pick the stuff off of him, all of that. And he was pretty calm. Like he was a really, really cool snake. And so he was her first kind of introduction to like, okay, maybe I'll like them. I had a decent sized Hog Island boa when we first got together, and she was absolutely not a fan. The rosy boa, even being small, not a fan. So we ended up losing that green tree when there's a big ice storm, despite using like hot water bottles, all the different stuff, right?
I don't mean to interrupt you here, John. Where is it? Where do you live?
Pacific Northwest, Seattle area.
Okay.
Oh, wow. So, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I now I understand.
Yep. So, okay. So anyway, so we're still going to expos and stuff regularly, but it was shortly after, I think, losing that rosy boa. We didn't have any other reptiles and such. And she's like, well, you know, if you came home with a green tree python, that'd probably be okay. That'd probably be fine. Nope. Came home with a beaded lizard. Absolutely not the same.
Yeah. I love beadeds. I love Heloderma. That's part of the reason why I moved to Pennsylvania, was so I could keep them. I don't keep them now. I have kept them in the past, but I plan on it in the future. Those and crocodilians are my future projects.
Oh man, I would love to do like some of the dwarf caimans or some of those. Absolutely a no-go in Washington, but hey, I got Heloderma, it's fine, and heal them up, right? So Okay, so went through all those. We fast forward a little bit. This we'll just jump to like right now, actually. So in beginning of last year, right, it was gonna be the first time I was gonna have any Heloderma big enough to pair. I had a pair of Gila Monsters, pair of Exasperatum, a pair of actually the Horde. Anyway, I'll get to those. So paired those ones up this last year, 25. Got eggs from the Gila Monsters. All of them were bad. So, but hey, right, like something that I've been wanting to do for 20 some years. I got Gila Monster eggs.
Still got eggs. Yep.
Check the box, man. Like we're moving in the right direction, right?
Yep.
So the Exasperatum, I got eggs out of those guys too. I got 8 of them. One of them bad. One of them no blood ring, but seemed like maybe it was okay. Put it in the incubator. Nope. The other 6 just hatched. They started hatching on Friday the 13th, February.
Nice.
Like, yeah,
Congratulations.
Yeah, man. So 197 days afterwards.
Wow.
So
I didn't realize they went that long.
yeah, it's normally like
we'll go back to that, but like I love like in the spring or the fall when the ball python people are like, oh no, for the long wait. It's like, what? A long
6
wait?
months?
Yep.
Yeah, 3 months,
we're
whatever
used to
they
that.
wait. Mertens, my longest clutch of Mertens went 296 days.
Insane.
Oh my God, I bit my fingers down to the knuckles. I had no more nails left. It was crazy. But yeah, that's how they are.
Man, but that's how these ones were too on this. That literally the day before they started hatching, because it's normally like 180, 185 days. I told my daughter, I was like, I screwed him up. You know, like I did something wrong. I did something wrong. And so 6 months, like I did something wrong. And then literally the next day, the first one started slitting out of the egg and stuff. And so
That's
now
the way in the world.
So the Heloderma, they don't collapse before hatching. They don't like lose water weight and start buckling in a little bit.
So these are, yes, they do. At least the little bit that I've seen. These are literally the first reptile eggs I have ever produced, or any of that. Like,
congratulations!
Thank you,
so
thank you. That I've only ever done live bearers before. So, so that like some of that kind of stuff about the collapsing.
Yeah,
I'm kind of learning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, you know, so
start panicking.
as far as
or the one that you see, like you can see its body on the side of the egg.
Yeah.
Stuck in there, and you're like, oh man, that one's probably bad. Nope, totally fine.
I've had eggs almost
you know,
go flat, it looks like, and then they still hatch.
So as being a guy who breeds monitors, and I also breed some boas here, and I'm a big boa guy. I like boas better than pythons. So, and I don't know why that is. I have no idea.
I just like them more.
But I'll take looking at eggs in the incubator for 296 days rather than looking at a fat snake, not knowing, you know, when it's coming. It's like,
True.
That's a lot more nerve-wracking than looking at an incubator full of eggs. That's just my opinion, you know.
I never thought about it that way, but that's definitely true.
That's fair. That's fair. And so, so I'm still exceptionally excited about that. And so then the other cool thing that happened this year was I had a pair of Heloderma horridum, so the like horridums instead of the others. And I had one that I knew was a male, and I had one that who knows, right? She's swole up fat like she ovulated, and so made that choice of, well, let's toss the male in. We'll find out what happens. They'll either fight or lock, and we'll know.
Yep.
They locked up. We got 4 eggs out of them.
Nice.
One of them was good. And so that one, right in the middle of these other ones hatching, I was like, well, it's at 177, 178 days. You know what? I'm going to take a look. We'll see. Nope. It's split open too. So that one hatched here as well just this weekend. So
Nice.
able to have 2 species, man. I'm beyond pumped. Like,
You're on a roll. You ought to get some monitors.
Hey, man. Anyway, so I don't know if that answers your question well enough with a little bit of background about me or not, but there you go.
Well, I appreciate that. And let me ask, I know, Cindy, I'll see you in March. Will you be coming to March?
To
Oh,
Tinley?
cool.
Yeah, I'll be
Cool,
in Tinley.
yeah.
I'll be at both. I'll be at Reading Reptile Expo this weekend. I'll be in Tinley and I'll be at Dallas, in
Nice.
RBC as well. So,
Wait, Reading, where's that?
California.
Okay.
You
I
thought
didn't
that-
know if it was a different name because we have one this weekend too, Hamburg, the venomous show out by us. So I was like, I thought you might be coming to that. That's a good one.
No, I would like to make it out to that one. That's
Yep.
definitely one where, look, I mean, I guess going back a little bit to it with buying Kingsnake and stuff, 100% did not have that on my bingo card for last year, nor like it's weird to me to think about it in that way, right? Of like, I remember getting yelled at the library in school and defending myself of like, no, look, I'm a biology major. It's fine. I'm doing research. Well, why does that one have a price on it? Look, that's just part of it, okay? You know? And so to then now like fast forward and go into the different expos and stuff as Kingsnake, talking to guys like you, other Titans that like, I mean, Mike, I remember your stuff from all over the place before. So like as somebody that's enjoyed monitors and that, it's kind of weird to be here chatting with you on your podcast and stuff, right? Not something I had expected. And
well,
so,
like I said, we gotta all help each other. And man, when Cindy knows when this whole thing started with Kingsnake coming back, of course in my head I'm like, well, will it be able to come back? But I think they got the right guy, and of course Cindy is great. So yeah, I'm really hoping that you guys pull this off.
It will come back if the community supports us.
Yeah.
And between making it accessible, but allowing us to stay as an independent platform.
Yeah.
You can speak to how it was handled before. You know how it was. We have a term of service. It is away from everything. It is a private reptile haven of peace, joy, and love in reptiles. And you can debate as long as it's about the topic of the forum and reptiles or amphibians. And that's what it's all about. Yep. And we want, and as it goes on, you'll see things getting updated and brought a little bit into the modern era, but left just a little bit nostalgic.
Yeah.
And the welcome wagon is waiting for you.
I think that combination with the nostalgia, with the upgraded or updated, I shouldn't say upgraded, updated, userness, if that's even a word.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, like I'm an old dog, man. When they took Kingsnake away, man, that was like my playground. And then I had to go getting used to this stuff. Now I'm getting used to this stuff, and I'm going back to the playground. So
you go. Come on back.
Come on back, baby.
Come on back.
I think you guys have the perfect approach. I was wondering, honestly, I was like, how are they going to go about this? But after talking to you, the whole freedom thing is what we're all missing.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing.
Sorry,
you can't sell on the forums because you know what? You need to do that in the classifieds.
Yep.
It's that kind of stuff is still going to be there because obviously we have a place for you to sell.
Yeah.
But you can debate where this is from or what snake is better or is Cindy too mean? That you can all debate.
Yeah.
I got big boots. Mike knows Mama wears big boots.
Yeah.
And if you're too mean,
but you know what?
Mike,
hey.
I'll just feed Mikey waxworms while he's my Santa and I sit on his lap. Right?
Well, you know something? I got this little glitch in my ear so when you said big boots, I was like, oh, wait a minute.
I got both those.
Yeah.
So,
but you know where my brain was going. So.
I must have the same glitch, Uncle Mike.
You got the same one?
I heard
give you more waxworms, honey.
And yeah, you know what, Cindy? You know what I love about you? Most women would have blushed. You took that like a champ. No blushing at all.
He said he met me at Tinley and we aren't really sure, and I went probably. So John's gonna. Oh, poor John. I'm sorry, John, in advance for Tinley.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna. Yeah, I'm just gonna get that out of the way right now, right, Mike?
Oh,
Yeah.
Tinley's it's a unique thing for sure.
I'm upset. I'm missing this
It
one.
is-
I haven't missed one in like 5 years, so this is upsetting.
I have never missed a Tinley.
That's
Since
cool.
the very
That's crazy.
first one. I have been to every single one.
That's
It's a far drive for me. That's the only reason why I'm missing it. With a newborn, the 13-hour drive is rough.
I can
Oh
appreciate
God.
this. I can appreciate this.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
it's got to be
makes you feel any
it's
better.
got to be a lot of traveling for you, John, coming from up over there.
Oof, yeah.
Yeah. Which, again, not something I had on my bingo card.
Yeah.
So, and so that was the one, like you brought up the Venomous show and such. Please help me out with some of those that we should be at and such, because like kind of everybody's point here, one of the things we need to do is like, Mike, I mean, you remember us, right? And so it's one of those like, yes, you're coming back. I'm in, right?
Yeah.
But we need to help.
I'd say that's the biggest East Coast show besides Daytona is Hamburg.
Okay.
And people come from all over the world to go to that show. So that's a perfect
Hamburg.
one. Yep. And now it's Morgan. It's still Hamburg Reptile Show, but it's in Morgantown. They moved it farther into PA.
I'll have to, thank you. I'll have to check that one out.
Yeah. That's a
Because
great
that
one.
is one of where like having done like the Reptile Super Show and the like Pac Northwest shows and stuff up here as well on the West Coast, it was very apparent that people like, if you've been in the hobby longer than like 5-7 years for sure, like if you've been in longer than that, you know about Kingsnake. If you've been in 7 years, which is a long, I censored myself, thank you, which is a long friggin' time, right? That still in that, you probably don't know about us. Like you missed kind of the heyday of some of the forums and some of the foundational knowledge and the foundational things that were learned there during those times, right? And so so we have to kind of introduce ourselves to that whole group of the hobby. And that's one where, quite honestly, we need some of the titans and some of the people that have been around forever to help us with that and help show people, you know, like this. Thank you for having us here to introduce us to everybody else. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, this has got me excited about it. I'm excited about that. Forums and classified, everything together. And now that I have the shortcut on my phone, it's even better.
The forum archives are all out there.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah, I know.
To the very beginning.
Goes back to 98, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yep. Yeah.
Yes.
I
I
was 4 years
started
old.
in 99.
Same
Wow.
difference.
So you mean to tell me you could go back in that monitor forum archive and see what I was coming up?
There goes
Hold on
Mikey
1
again.
second, Uncle Mike.
What?
I said, hold on 1 second. I gotta see.
Oh, come on. No, you know what?
You have to go through a bunch of the screens, but yeah, we have all of our archives and all of the different forums that
That's
were
so
out there.
cool. I mean, you can see how far you've come. You can, actually there was some, in the monitor community, that was very early in monitor husbandry. So there's tons of great information that's like old school transitioning into new school, transitioning into like what we know today. Well, so yeah, there's a lot of great.
I'm excited to go back and see what's different from back then.
How did that happen, Cindy? How did, just because of the archive it was saved, or what was the other guy's name?
Jeff.
Barron? Yeah.
The site never closed. Yeah. On October 31st, John bought everything from Jeff.
I would imagine that
shut down.
But keeping those archives alive as it was kind of falling asleep had to be expensive, no? Or is that not a charge?
There's cost to all that stuff, right? To run your servers, to run all your stuff, and to do that. Yes, there is. And then
I want to say something right now. A big shout out to Jeff Barringer for saving all of that information. What an amazing guy. Thank you so much.
He kept it going once it got to the point that it wasn't going anywhere and he was not making it profitable anymore. That's when he put it for sale. And that's when John bought it. And John looked at it and said, I can fix this easily.
I mean, I don't know about easily. I mean, like
Wow.
I joke with our development team all the time of like, oh, I'm gonna tell you this like it's easy, like you just swoop your magical fingers across the keyboard.
I
But,
shouldn't
like-
say easily, but there are certain things that we can look at and go,
Yeah.
this, and this can be changed without having to completely redo everything.
Yep.
And
Okay.
update
Now-
it to make it functional.
Without looking like a whatever, shadrul. I'm Italian, so that's without looking like an idiot.
Hit the
I
button
gotta
again.
say, yeah, I gotta say. So let me ask you this: having Cindy on board with you, who's been around the block, she kind of knows all the ins and outs. That's got to be an asset to you for sure. I would imagine.
100%. I am beyond thankful that Cindy has been willing to stay on, wanted to stay on, and wants to continue to be part of this. Like what Cindy knows, the knowledge, the history, all the different pieces is amazing. And I think the thing that I appreciate the most is Cindy's willingness to change, because the 100%, right? Like I am doing things very differently than what Jeff did. And that I know for a fact it had to be a huge shock to Cindy on a bunch of that. Yeah. And so I am very thankful for Cindy to have stayed on and to be a part of this, because I think like Cindy's been a huge part of it. And so I'm very, very thankful. A huge asset. I don't think there's enough words to do it justice.
And then there's another round of applause for Cindy for, 100%. Jeff for his archive, the foresight to archive all of that stuff. Cindy for sticking with Jeff all those years, and then now being willing to adapt to the new changes. Good on you, Cindy. We love you.
Well, we got to give another
chameleon, babe.
We got to give another one then too to our head developer for him sticking around. I don't ever remember if he wants to be named, so we won't specifically. He'll know. But that for him as well, like he has been incredible on a lot of what he's done and what he's helped run the team and how we're doing this. And so huge shout out to him as well.
A big shout out to the unknown soldier. We appreciate you.
Yeah, I like it.
So this has got to be a big learning curve for you, because I mean, you said you were in tech, but I don't know if it was this end. Like coming from someone, I'm just getting started with this podcast stuff, like learning all the new ropes. It's like every podcast I'm learning something new. So how has that been for you? Is it a really hard struggle, or does it seem like you're just flowing with it being in tech?
It's an interesting one, right? Like I think I got really lucky on a bunch of those when we look back of kind of coming up in some of the right times and having some good exposure to a couple of different things. Like, I mean, I was 15 years old working for a online ebook company, converting people's books into a digital format that way. So like, I got super lucky getting to kind of play with some of those things throughout time. When it comes to like this straight coding of things, look, I know enough to be dangerous and I can kind of help through some of those, but that's why I'm glad we've got the actual development team. But that's also one where, I have this little bit of pride of having talked to him like the other day about stuff, like our head guy talking to him the other day about some stuff. And I was like, well, like if we did this, like I think this would work and stuff. And he's like, no, we can't do that. Well, but like, hold on. Cause like if this happened and then, ran through a couple of those and he kind of looks and thinks, he's like, shit, that's actually a pretty good idea. Like that could work. Like, let me sit on that for a minute. And so that was one of those where, like he's the professional, man. I know enough through some of that stuff. So yeah, I don't know if that answers.
No, that answered it. That's
Excuse
awesome that
me
you know
1 minute,
enough.
guys.
Yeah, of course.
Go ahead.
So that's awesome that you know enough of it to be able to talk with him like that. Because like I know from doing this, like I dove into this, I had no idea what I was doing with this whole podcasting thing. So it's still learning the ropes and figuring it out, but it's kind of fun. I like challenges, and it sounds like you do too. So I'm sure it's got to be almost excited to do it every day. Because is this your full-time like thing now? Have you gone from like working for someone else to now this is all you?
Well, so that's an interesting one. I actually did stop working for anybody else a little over a year ago. So I run kind of my own consulting company where, having worked for a couple of those large tech companies, basically I do the same thing and I help a couple of companies out. And so So no, unfortunately, this is not my full-time gig. Kingsnake does not make money. Kind of to Mike's point about you've got server costs and all these different things. You've got contractor costs, all these different things. And so no, we do not make money. My day job pays for this at this point.
So by advertising.
Yeah. Thank you. Please do.
By advertising, by classifieds.
Mm-hmm.
Are we by classifieds?
Yes. Which
by classifieds, by advertising. Support us, community.
Definitely.
Yes, please. We tried to make the classifieds super reasonable where our enhanced classifieds. So, okay, you guys are already excited about stuff. I'll tell you about other cool stuff. How about that?
Yep.
One, the classified cost, the most expensive one is like $115 a year.
Very cool.
We tried to make this super reasonable. The inexpensive, the standard one is like $7 a month, or it's like $15 for 3 months. Okay. We chose these numbers to make it accessible really to everybody. If you're selling inexpensive colubrids, it's easy to offer them for sale now and get them out in front of people. But then we also have a cost where we keep out scammers and people that are going to fake stuff, right? Yeah. So we try to keep that reasonable. That's probably not necessarily the cool stuff. I think those are just like,
I think that's really cool because it's just kind of like having a table at a show. It's like for breeders like me and Mike, sometimes we don't have babies, so it's hard to hold down a table. It's just like a membership. It's hard to keep that membership going when you don't have money coming in. So if it's reasonable like that, it makes a lot of sense.
And that's what we're trying for.
One thing I noticed about with, and you know what, I don't give if I get in trouble, whatever. And I'm not trying to. It's the truth. It is what it is. I'm just telling you the way Uncle Mike sees it.
Mike.
Hey, uncensored.
So that when I did that morph market thing, and it took me all day, and I was super pumped and proud, and I showed my wife and I showed my kids, and like I said, the next day I was on page 10 or whatever it was. So the way it's set up, it's like, okay, so I didn't buy the gold membership thing, but what I paid for, I still paid for. And why? Because another guy could put 10 ads at once that bounces me way down. That was very frustrating to me. Like, my money ain't, what are you trying to motivate me to spend more money? I mean, I'm kind of nuts that way. Like, if you try to do that to me, I'm not rich. I don't have a lot of money. I mean, my money's valuable to me. So it's like when you say you're not saying it, but you're basically displaying it. This is how it works. I'm like, I'm not coming on your site no more at all. And that's just the way it was.
Well, so you bring up an interesting point about that, right? Because this is the difference of how some of the other sites work, where if you could post 100 animals and then somebody logs in and looks and they scroll through that, there's 100 animals from the same person.
Yep.
If we think about this, we have a certain mental capacity for how much we can kind of look at before I'm like, all right, I'm done with this for right now. And it all looks the same. I'm gonna come back later. Yep. And so this is something that we do very, very differently. So we have the 2 account levels. We have the enhanced or the standard, and then the premium or the enhanced. I need to standardize that name anyway, right? And so on the standard, you can post 8 animals per category per day. On the enhanced, you can post 12 animals per category per day. Now, in that same 100 animals or 200 animals that we have the mental capacity to look at, you're going to see at least 10 different vendors in there, right? Because if the maximum's 8 to 10 each, you're going to see at least 10 people in there. So this is one of those ways where that it keeps it more fair, to Mike's point. In fairness, Mike, right? Look, if we get big enough and there's, 100 people posting monitors, well, then you might still end up on page 5. But knowing the way that the system works on that, then you would be able to make the choice of I'm going to post 2 in the morning. Because I know that people are going to be checking then when they're taking a restroom break in the morning before they leave for work or whatever.
Going to the library.
Yeah, thank you. Perfect. Dropping kids off at the pool.
Going to the library.
Yeah. And so then I'm going to post a couple. I'm going to post 3 of them in noon. I'm going to post the last 6 at 6 p.m. or something, right? Mm-hmm. And then you're just in the list that way. And so the same thing now, as a user, when I go back in there, okay, cool. I'm gonna check in the morning. I checked about 100 of them or so. I'm burnt. I gotta go to work, or I gotta do whatever I gotta do. And then I'm gonna come back later. I know that I already saw everything before 9 a.m. So I'm still gonna go a little further, right?
Yeah,
but
I got you.
So this is some of the way where we have worked to try to make that fair for everyone. Fair for you that produces more animals than somebody that produces, 2 clutches a year of something. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's what we're trying to do. If we want to change topics on other cool stuff,
yeah, sure.
The couple that I'm excited about, in addition to like the science section, we're going to change how we've done expos. Previously, we used to charge to list expos. When I think about making us all smarter, we don't want to go to expos, right? So we're working to just list all of those. We're not going to charge them. We're just working to list those ones and get those out there for the community, right? The other one is we have like that business listing section. We're going to do exotic veterinarians. And so we're going to list those as well. Same thing. We're going to do that one for free, where we've got a couple of resources that we're working through right now, trying to make this work in a faster way. But I've got a couple other paths to get those up there, because imagine that one, right? Like you'll be able to go click on your state. Where do you say you are? What state are you in?
I'm in Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Yep.
So you go click on Pennsylvania. Here's the list of all the exotic vets that are there. And
awesome.
You know what's crazy? Back in the day, there was actually a thing called Herp Vet Connection, and you would, like, I had it linked on my way back in the day, my original Mike's Monitor page, and I thought it was the coolest thing, because you just click on it, you put the city you live in or the county or whatever, and 3 or 4 vets or 10 vets or whatever would come up. But I don't think that's even a thing anymore. It's not.
It hasn't been updated in a while.
Okay. Well, that's a great one.
Right. This should be helpful to us, because that if we can know on those, and so one of the vets that we've been talking with gave some great feedback about even trying to separate that out between like the ones that have different capabilities versus seeing them. Yep. Right. Because you've got some vets that are like, oh, I can see exotics, but I don't really have anything here to treat them, compared to like this hospital, for example. They have the newer machines that'll actually do blood work in-house for reptiles and avian and some of this, which again, if we are in that situation where you have an emergency and right, you didn't check before, or if you're just getting into it and you're checking early, here's your resource of what you need. Right. So
no, that's great. Because I mean, I remember when I was struggling to try to find an exotic vet, you have, just like you said, you have vets that will take you, but can't really help you that far. So I have different vet, like I have a local vet that will help me for generic stuff. And then I talk to Dr. Stahl if I have anything that's like over and too crazy for my normal vet to figure out. Yep. And so he's a great asset too. If I'm sure he's going to kill me because I throw his name around all the time, but
oh yeah, everybody knows Dr. Stahl.
But I'm sure you
consult in a lot.
Yeah.
And you know what, Cindy? I think we're quite fortunate here that, of course, I talk with Dr. Scott and
the box star.
And then like my daughters work at Lake Geneva Animal Clinic, and the vet, some of them are like livestock vets, horses and cows, and some are dog and cat and bird, but none of them are reptiles. So I love it when I go in there. I'll go in the x-ray room just trying to shoot some hemibaculum on a monitor. And then the one vet, he's hilarious. The young guy, he's hilarious. He comes in there and he's like, so what am I looking at? I'm like, oh, here you go. You got to look here and there. And it's like, but the thing that's nice about it, like he respects me I'm no doctor, but he respects my experience level. And between his medical knowledge and my experience with the animals, we get to work together. But this was where I was going with this, Cindy. Esteban Barajas over there in Mayfair, another really good up and coming vet. We're going to have him on the show too. But yeah, he's another great asset for us locally, because we had Dr. Barton, right? And he's retired now.
He is retired. Dr. Barton was quite literally one of the vets who wrote the book.
Absolutely.
If you look at the book on veterinary medicine, it is not only written by Dr. Mater, but also Dr. Stephen Barton.
Right
That's
Yep.
when I said Dr. Rockstar, that
Yeah.
is my nickname for Stephen Barton.
Yep.
And he retired, and that hurt.
That
But
does
there's
hurt.
a couple in the city, and I can't think of the name offhand, but there are a couple in the city of Chicago that do work. But you guys in Chicago have the oldest herp society in the country,
Yeah.
with the Chicago Herpetological Society.
Yep.
I mean, I was on the board several times, to be honest, and honored to be part of that history.
Yep.
But you have the oldest herp society in the country, and it is still quite active. So
Yep.
anyone in Mike's neck of the woods that needs help finding a vet, just reach out to them. They are wonderful. Just
Yeah.
tossing that little hook, line, and sinker out there. And the
Very
society
nice, Cindy.
still is doing they still do in-person meetings monthly.
Yeah. I don't think it's in the city anymore. They just recently moved it.
Their location moved. They aren't at
Yeah.
the Notabart anymore, but they moved somewhere. But you can check them out. The Chicago Herp Society is fantastic.
Chicago Herb
It's
Society.
like-
For anybody up in this area.
Yeah.
You know, I guess that would work for anyone in Cindy's areas as well. It's only an hour away,
Yeah.
right?
I'm an hour and a half away. Milwaukee's just the northernmost suburb of Chicago.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, well, we're going on. What are we almost at an hour, Nick?
We're
I'm
past
just trying
that.
to. I'm just trying to keep track. So,
I got to show you this, Mike.
what do you got? Hold on a
Can
minute.
you read that?
I can if I could put the Cindy in the recognition of not saying beep on air promoting the PEG Expo 2. Very good.
I
It
have
took me a minute to process what you were
and I
covering.
didn't say any bad words this show, boys.
but let's
So I'll make up for it in Tinley.
let's put this in perspective though. If I'm
I
not
know
mistaken,
how high my collar is.
you are talking about national TV.
I told you I was going into this with FCC rules.
So you actually were thinking about screwing up on nationwide TV?
Oh yeah, I've had concerns. I've done it for like 20 plus years,
Wow.
and every year I go in there and I'm terrified I'm gonna say a bad word or fart.
Oh, well, good job, Cindy.
Did
So
better
I
than
went
me.
into this with my no FCC rule, my FCC rule,
Yep.
and I did not curse, so I got to show off my trophy.
Unfortunately, if you bring that trophy to Tinley at the auction, I'm sure we're going to stomp on that thing.
No, I will not, because I will fail the minute I walk into the hotel, and you know
That's
it.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, this is not a Tinley appropriate collar. You know.
No. You need one of them ones like old Uncle Mike. You got to have it cut
that. I
down
have
a
to get a
little bit.
scissor.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to get a scissor to this Kingsnake shirt.
Oh, yes. So I would hope I didn't lay this on you, John, but you know, we just do this to help the community out and everything. But you know, for a little gratitude, you could bring me a extra 2X T-shirt, please.
I'll deliver it.
I'll have them.
Thank you.
I'll have them.
Thank
I got you. Are you gonna wear it around the show though?
If you want me to, I will.
Absolutely. Yes, please.
Absolutely, I will do that.
All right.
He's gonna have to cut the sleeves off though, and maybe
I
a little
will.
V.
I'll have to cut the sleeves, and I can't wear nothing on my neck. I ain't got a neck, so that bothers
He
me.
does not.
Hey, I'm excited to see the way you modify it because I know you're gonna make it look good.
Oh yeah.
I'll bring the scissors, Mikey, because I need to have him bring me a 3X to adjust, because
Nice.
you know this isn't a Tinley friendly shirt. for me.
Do you do the sleeves too, Cindy?
No, I need sleeves. I got. You remember I don't got a bicep, so I got the rolled down pantyhose.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Just do what my
Well-
friends used to do in high school. They used to come up, grab my sleeve, and just rip it off. So I'd have one sleeve all day.
Well, I gotta say, when
Thanks,
like
guys.
so, this is how I cut my sleeves, And I love when girls wear these shirts because you get all that side boob action.
Side boob. But that's your side boob you just showed, Mikey.
Oh, nobody wants to see that, man. Nobody wants to see that.
Now you're gonna have to eat some bugs at Timberline's booth again. Darn it.
Man,
Uncle Mike, you know that might have to be the intro. You with the little side boob with AI.
Oh, there you go. Hey, but I know what you want all that AI. Don't give me none of them little banana up curves. You know, I like them hanging down hangers.
I'm gonna give you a big metal bar through.
Oh man,
you have to get Peter Griffin's voice going over. That's my side boob.
So, okay, so let's kind of wrap this up. I mean, I think it's obvious, but where does everybody find John Poff? We know it's Kingsnake.com for Kingsnake.com. Cindy, we'll get to you in a second. Where do we find you if anybody wants to talk or whatever, John?
Yeah, John at Kingsnake.com works great. Both, I spell my name Jon, but both will work. If you spell it John, it'll still get to me. So yeah, just John at Kingsnake.com is great. Our social media, like our Facebook one, I pay attention to that as well. On Instagram, we have Kingsnake_com as well. I pay attention to that. I'm around. You can get a hold of me.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you want to look at my Gila monsters and that, it's dragon_serpents is the Instagram.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of going with, more of like your personal stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that would be the best one.
Yeah. And yeah. Cindy?
I'm on Facebook and Instagram. I think on Instagram it's at PHFaust.
Okay.
And I think Facebook, just look up my name, Cindy Steinle.
Yep, and that PH Faust that goes way back. PH Faust goes way back to like the late 90s, right? That's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy about that the most is that when I seen that, I'm like, wait a minute, that's Cindy? I it's still in my head. I still know it, but now I've just recently put it together with you.
You know Kai, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
He sends me mail to PH Faust. My mail either comes to PH Faust or Mom Faust.
Oh, wow.
That is how it gets addressed when it comes to my house.
That's funny.
Somebody sends mail to you.
Hysterical.
He's sending you some grasshoppers.
He sends me mail.
I don't even, man,
Kai sends me care packages. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, I understand. It explains a little bit about the Tinley.
You enjoy from Kai's care packages. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely. So
I need to send me some care packages.
Nick, I don't know if you'd be able to.
I'd die.
Yeah, you might fall asleep and stay asleep in a little bit.
You'll see me face down at Tinley. That's what you'd see.
So, all right. Well, listen.
Challenge on.
Yeah. So, this was a great interview, and man, I think about the challenges that I have ahead, but thank God we got Cindy, and she'll help me with all this computer stuff to get back on. But I want to get back on Kingsnake.com. I want to see it thrive. I want to see you succeed. And if there's any way me and Nick could be a part in helping you with that, we're all for helping out. So
definitely.
Thank you guys. Thank you very, very much. That means a lot. It really does. And you guys kind of excitement and understanding of what we're doing, and that you guys having been in the community, seeing the vision and that we have of where we're going, and that excitement, that helps a ton, right? That tells us that we're on the right path and such as well. So thank you very, very much. Thank you for wanting to support. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep. And
thank you for coming on. And I'm not just saying it because you guys are there. I really am excited about it. I'll be on there tonight searching through stuff.
Man, no, that means a lot, right? Like that's kind of the fun thing. Like it's wild to me to be like back at this point. Like I got into my old account. My old account is from 2002 is when I registered it.
Wow.
Cindy, if I'm not mistaken, did you say that I may be able to recover my old account?
Well, yeah,
really?
we got it in Messenger. Your password and everything's there.
Oh, in my
Can you-
messenger?
Yes, honey, we've already done this. We'll go when tomorrow we'll talk, okay?
Sounds good. I appreciate it. You know what, Cindy, you're the greatest, man. I appreciate you, and thank you for coming on, John. It's been a great
I
show.
love you, Mike.
I love you too, Cindy.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Kingsnake.com. Cindy Steinle, John Poff. Let's go.
Let's do it. Thank you, guys.
Bye, guys.
We'll talk to you soon.
A quick commercial break.
Hey, what's
Nice.
up, Uncle Mike?
Hey, so, yeah, that was good, huh?
Yep, no, that was awesome. I'm excited.
Well,
I'm excited about Kingsnake.
you know what? Man, you're quick, dude. So that's going to be the one. That's going to be the one.
Anything funny, you know me.
Yeah.
I see an opportunity. I'm usually.
I can't believe it. I can't believe you got that.
I know you have the same sense of humor as me, so I knew.
Yeah, but I can't believe you got that like before me. So, all right. So let's. Okay, Nicky Nick. What do you got in the news?
Honestly, I mean, there's no real seasons in this, Uncle Mike. Everybody, but it is a colder time for most people in the United States, so things seem to dial down. I haven't really noticed anything big going on. The last one was Duraka with those triplets, but we talked about that last time. But I haven't really noticed anything. Besides, you had something happen.
Well,
today, right?
I had a couple of things happen actually. So Valentine's Day, I mean, you know, as monitor breeders and reptile breeders, we always hope to get our eggs on Easter or, you know, have them hatch on our birthday so we could say, what a great birthday, you know.
Yeah.
So it was Valentine's Day, and one of the female Toji's, the world's first captive-born Toji, and you know how I've been, Nick. Yeah. I've been waiting on her to lay her first clutch without an introduction to a male, and she finally, and I've been nervous for weeks.
I was nervous for you. That's what I was going to say.
Oh,
I didn't even want to bring it up until you got eggs.
Yeah, she was so big and tight and not moving right. You know, she's very inexperienced. This was her first infertile clutch. Yeah. So she laid, I mean, compared to the other ones that I bred, but I understand now how that, remember that female died with those pickle-looking eggs in her? That was so big and
huge. They were giant.
So she laid 6, and they're big. They're big eggs. The 4 were baggy and leathery and infertile. Yep. The 2 are firm, and they there's a chance they maybe if they hatch, you know, I forget the date. It's 6 months down the road. If they hatch, that'll be a world first parthenogenic clutch from Togianus, which I will do a write-up on. You know, I'll talk to Dr. Robert Spracklin, and we'll do a write-up on that. So
very cool.
That was very good. And then last night, the one of my Mertens females that I've been holding back, most people might recognize what I'm about to say. It was the real little one that was like a lighter green, and it had large yellow dots on it.
Okay.
Not like the flecking, large yellow dots. Well, she laid her first clutch last night, and when I came down this morning, I shouldn't have been lazy. I should have got up first thing and came down before the lights came on. But it was about a half an hour after the lights came on. I went in there. I opened up the nest box, and both females were in there. One female had like a dirt line on her mouth, so she obviously bit something moist. And so I got the 5 eggs, and the one that was near the other female, it had egg goo on it. So I thought it was popped. So I pulled it out. I put the 4 in. I put the 4 in. The 4 are in there cooking now. So that was her first clutch. So I would imagine now she's going to start kicking out, it'll be 6, 8, 10 until she gets up to like 14 egg clutches. But yeah, that was it for me.
That's very exciting. And I mean, if it's nothing like no positive fertile eggs, but I had the croc monitor lay in fertiles, which is my first croc monitor eggs on the ground. And just like news for what I'm doing, like full renovations on all their enclosures. I'm doing the hanging barrels that we talked about with Tom on here, and just taking a lot of steps with trying to figure out their laying, because in all honesty, she's scattered, and it was disappointing for me because I thought I had cracked the code, I guess, already. But I was far from it. But I think that hanging barrel thing is going to do it, Uncle Mike.
Yeah, I do too. I like it's always been a strategy that I've used. Okay, yep. It might not have been a barrel, but it wasn't the strategies I was using for arboreal external nesting, which of course yours is internal. Mm-hmm. In a barrel, it wasn't for croc monitors. Like I used it for tree monitors, black mm-hmm. trees, and what else did I use it for? I used it for peach throats back in the day. That's external.
See, that's what's funny is my peach throat one wasn't, I wouldn't say arboreal, but I've talked about it on here before, a stump that I cut the top off, and then I just put the nest box on top of it, and it worked perfectly for 3 clutches. So this is just higher and a lot bigger, but I think it's going to work. I'm just figuring out like the door situation and stuff like that. I thought about using one of those, what are they called? Like a chicken coop door where it opens and closes.
Like a hatch?
Yeah, like one of those automatic hatches. I don't like the automatic idea just because I know sand's going to get in there and get jammed up. Right. I like the manual aspect, but it's hard to find something. So I might just make something, because I cut a hatch in the barrel and I just didn't like the flap. I wanted it to be sturdy, so I'm going to make like a framed door.
Well, you know what you can do? That's is it a square that you cut out of it?
Yeah, I cut a square.
So you save that square because it's already contoured to the shape of the barrel,
well,
right?
I cut 3 sides of the square, and then I scored the back end so it would flap like that. Oh. But it's just too flimsy. So I was going to make a frame and then like a insert that I could completely take off.
Right. I was going to say, so if your barrel is like this and you have that curved piece of plastic, but you'd actually have to sacrifice one of the other barrels because you'd have to make it bigger than the hole you cut.
Yeah.
And then it would just, you could pull it down this way. It's open and slide it back up and put a pin in it. And it's closed.
Yeah. And I thought about even like, remember when we were talking, Uncle Mike, I was going to do that T or like a big L where I was going to butt the other one up. Like even if it would be sacrificing a barrel, but if I cut the top off and mounted just the top on the other one, I could unscrew the top.
There you go.
That too.
There you go.
Well, last night, it sucks because I'm wasting one. But
well, Nick, there's also, if you go to Menards or Home Depot or something, there are like portholes for where you put your lawn sprinklers in the ground. You got to get to the solenoids and stuff. So it's out there. I mean, if you can't find it on Amazon,
or like an electrical box, but it's like I've had them before. They're like real flimsy. I'm trying to find something that she's just not gonna. Because croc monitors, they'll break through anything.
Right.
So I'm trying to make something that's sturdy, but it's just playing around with it. I'm having fun messing around with it. And this is I was going to do it for the Maruk I just got, because I got a female Maruk that I've been waiting on, but she's like the smallest croc I've ever owned. She's maybe 2 feet in total length. Like she's a baby still. So, I don't got to worry about her. I'm going to get it set up soon, but my priority is the sarongs that are already laying eggs.
Right.
So, I'm going to work on theirs.
So you got what else? I thought there was something else that you newish.
Nothing else.
The spinnies did we already talk?
Oh yeah. The spinnies, but that was infertils too.
Hey, that's step in the right direction.
I forgot. I'm like, if it's not like I'm super excited about it, I kind of just like falls by the wayside and I forget about it. But she laid a perfect clutch that I incubated because I thought they might have been good. But I never saw copulation that time, which in their enclosure, I have it set up so it's really tall. So there's like a canopy where there's a lot of light and then they get to go down underneath where it's pretty dark towards the ground. So my camera can't really see in there. So they could have copulated. So I put them in the incubator in hopes that they were good, but I didn't get any witness copulation this time. So I think I paired late and next time we'll get it. I'm getting closer. It's a snowball effect of getting closer to it.
Absolutely. That's all it is. I mean, so you're on the right path, stay the course, and it'll improve each time. One thing that did just hit my brain, Cody Kopp today had some blue trees. Yep. Yeah. So congratulations, Cody Kopp.
Hey, congrats, Cody. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry that slipped my mind.
No. It's another thing. I think it was a week or two ago. Waterloo hatched a lace.
Yep. That's actually coming my way. But I'm picking it up at Monitor Fest. It's a dark fade, one of those really dark ones. So I'm excited. Right. So I said if I kept the lace, those are the only ones I'm keeping. So I'm excited. Yeah. That's going to be just a pet until me. I'll keep it until it's breeding size, and I'll want to breed it. But for now, it's just going to be a pet.
Well, just and it's some advice from Uncle Mike. You just keep attending them 12-step meetings, and
hey, I sold
monitors
after that list, Uncle Mike. We talked about this on the last episode. I was like, man, I do have a lot. I mean, I think it was 14 different species, but I have only a pair. So it's like 28 monitors, we'll say. And I've cut back drastically. I am done with the quints besides my holdbacks. I'm done with the peach rose besides my holdbacks, which broke my heart to put them in a box because, I mean, to me, that was one of my biggest accomplishments. And I never thought it would actually happen. So it's hard to let that go, but I have the holdbacks. So we'll be back again in the future. And I wanted to focus more on spinnies, Obor, and the Crocs. Those are my big ones for this year, and hopefully Toji's, but we're still trying to figure out what I got.
Yeah. Well, so the raising up the world's first Toji's, I was convinced in the beginning that was 3 females. Then once they started to get a little bit of size to them, me and Angelina would pull them out and we'd examine them. And at that point, I thought for sure it was 1.2. I kept a pair here, and the extra female I sent to Nick, and I want Nick to get in on this project. But Nick is now starting to think that maybe that's a male. Which
I've been getting. I'll be honest, Uncle Mike. I've been kind of getting in my own way. Like I used to be able to look at something and be like, "That's that," and I was confident with it. But now it's like a couple of these species have thrown me for a curveball, like the Nucallis, the Toji. So I've walked past that enclosure a few times and caught a glimpse where I'm like, that could be a male, and that's all it is. It's nothing like I'm set in stone. And
right.
Besides, we saw a little aversion, but it wasn't a full aversion from that one too. So I'm just letting it be, getting a little more size, because I've noticed that like sexing a monitor at certain ages is kind of like a roller coaster.
Yep.
Like at the top, you can tell right away, and then it goes through these phases where it's like you can't tell.
Well, I try to explain to people like from hatchling up until about a month old. I don't care what anybody says. From hatchling to about a month old, I have a technique where I could tell this is going to be a male.
Funny because we each have our own technique too.
Right.
Yeah.
And and for the most part, mine have always proved out that way.
Yep.
However, after that month, when they start to fill out, those signs go away. And now you got to wait until they actually mature physically to
and that's what's funny too, Uncle Mike. Between both of ours, you're looking at tail base, I look at facial structure. They both phase out probably about the same time, and then you're really struggling to try to figure out what it is. But like out of the egg, I can't say for every baby that I've ever had, but for the ones that have held back with indicus and water monitors with my 2 ways of sexing with the face, I've been 110 out of 10 every time. But it's I don't want to say across the board because I don't have the other monitors and I have no way of telling.
Well, you know, everyone's got to realize too, when I say this stuff, it's merely the animals that I work with. I don't profess to be a sexing guru.
No.
But
and
for the animals that I work with,
very hard. I can make a male look female just by angle. So Facebook pictures can be a lot harder, but in person with a hatchling, I feel pretty confident.
Yeah. So as a matter of fact, when we were talking about news and you said the triplets, Brian DeRocca, we have next Thursday.
Yeah. So, I'm excited to talk about that.
Yeah.
Just all his projects because he's working. I think he's still working with Tricolors, which is another one of my projects.
Yeah, I think he is.
Seeing some, I could post it too, Uncle Mike. I haven't even had time this week to talk to you about it, but I think I have, and I don't know if it's the first, but I'm saying it's the first documented ovulation and cycling of a tricolor in captivity. I have pictures of it, so I don't know if that's the first, but I'm saying that's the first time I've heard of it. So I have videos and full, but she's blowing up like a balloon, but the male's just not taking advantage of it yet.
Yeah.
They're paired, they're doing great, which is scary with that species because they're known for killing each other. But I think I'm going to hit it with those. I'm hoping eventually.
Yep, I sure hope so. I got confidence in you, Nick. I know you're going to do it. So,
Thanks,
like I say all the time with you, just stay the course and, keep attending your 12-step programs and don't don't bite off more than you could chew. Less is more, and this is why. When you get a bunch, it's great. I mean, we're addicted to this stuff. We love it. But when you when you get a new animal, like your attention goes right to that, and then you stop looking at the Tojis, or your attention goes to the new croc monitors, and you miss a cue with the spinies. That's why we say less is more. And again, we're not talking.
I was drifting back into my old ways of keeping everything and anything, and that list, you kind of snapped me out of it, and I let go of a few things where, like, I had empty enclosures before, and to me, I felt comfortable, but it's just that, like, you don't realize that you are missing some steps until you look on paper and you're like, I'm missing some steps. Right. So I had to let some stuff go, and I'm more centralized now in my focus, and I'm very, very. For once, like, I'm very, very happy with the things I'm working with. They're all very hard, besides like Coming Eye. And I have black dragons, but I'm not breeding them. And that's another thing. I didn't even post it. I haven't said anything. My female just laid infertile. One of my first, my holdbacks. So that's a black dragon. I got infertiles from her, but I made a promise to myself that I'm not pairing them. So they're just living their own separate lives for now. And then once the market comes back around and there's not 1,000,001 breeders, I'll feel the need to pair them again. But it's just cool to have my own baby lay infertiles. I haven't had that.
And it's what's another thing that is nice is, like, so, going back to Coming Eye, 10, 12 years ago, man, it was amazing. And it still is amazing. Don't get me wrong. But it is nice to know, and I'm not tooting my own horn or your horn or anyone's horn, but it is nice to know black dragons. There are plenty of people breeding them. They don't need so much attention because you coast with them.
Yep.
Coming Eye, we coast, and people are doing really good stuff.
I think people are going to start focusing, because black dragons, you can't change much. It's a black lizard besides size. And size is the big complication with why a lot of people can't handle a black dragon.
Well, so with all of this being said, it was another great episode, Nick. Thank you so much for being a great partner and the guy who does all the AI. And man, the opening to that last video, that was hilarious.
Yeah, that was funny. That was a fun one to make. It's another thing besides podcasting is figuring out this AI thing and editing, because I don't need to tell anybody that's into this stuff. It's a lot. You're making thumbnails, you're making intros, you're doing editing. Like, this is stuff I did in high school very basically, and college, but getting into it like this is totally different, but it's fun. I like a challenge, and I'm having fun with it. And just sitting here and talking to you, Uncle Mike, we talk all the time, but like we're not FaceTiming.
Right.
So it's good to talk to you and talk to people that we wouldn't normally talk to. And this one was great because it's actually genuinely has me excited about looking at these forums, going back in the day and even more recent times, just talking on these forums. Because I think a great point that we had in the podcast is with Facebook and all that stuff, you get lost in like a lot of, I don't want to say novice, but like a lot of people that really aren't dedicated. But like if you're going to a reptile website, you're going to have a whole different mindset, and you're gonna want to engage with these kind of people. I'm excited to talk to other people that have the same passion as us.
I get you, and I Uncle Mike, right now I'm holding back, but there is a lot of stuff that I see on Facebook, and you know what? I don't take myself too serious. You know what I mean? I joke about myself. I joke,
and that's the whole point of our intros is we're being serious about the stuff we love, but we like to have fun too.
Well, yeah, we love to have fun. And if I could crack a joke and make somebody smile, that's great. But I do take my monitor lizards very serious. Mm-hmm. And I appreciate them for the apex predators that they are. So, yeah, I'm not going to get excited about seeing one wearing pajamas or I'm not going to be excited about, rocking it to bed. I'm not, I just respect them more than to, I don't know. I don't even know.
I get it, Uncle Mike. You don't want to see that stuff. But I don't know. It's hard because I'm with you. I don't want to sound like I'm not in any way, but it's like, forget who we had on. It might even have been Sprackling, where it's like there's always going to be those people that do those things, Yeah. But the Kingsnake, I get what you're saying. With Kingsnake, you're not going to see that stuff. I don't think you're going to see that, because
we hope.
Yeah, I don't think you would though. I mean, I think of fauna and stuff like that back in the day. You never saw any of those leash walking or any dragon wings. There's a guy at a show near me that brings his poor, I hate to even say it because they're going to know exactly what I'm talking about, the caiman lizard to a show, and it's got these dragon wings on, and this thing just looks tortured. And it's like, I mean, mind you, it's freezing cold outside. This thing should not be outside.
Right.
But it irks you in a way. And I'm not a caiman lizard guy, but I'm a reptile guy. And you see that thing just struggling through the day with this whole outfit on. It's like, why? Yeah,
I mean, they're not domesticated animals. No. So we, don't boop them on the snoot. My opinion, they don't want to be booped on the snoot. Yep. They
we want to see them for what they are. We talked about it with Sprackling too, and that's why we don't take them out. I mean, Shadow's the only one, and he wanders, he does his own thing. But for most of them, they have big enough enclosures. I like watching them do their thing in there, and I'll just pull up a chair and watch them do that.
And that's what I enjoy too. And don't get me wrong, I want them to be tractable. Like, I don't want to have to wrestle them out of their cage when I have to bring them to a vet. I don't want to stress them out like that. Yep. But in the same breath, I don't want to stretch them out sitting up in my 68-degree living room.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's not proper temperatures. And again, I better shut up before I get myself in trouble.
I know what you mean, though, Uncle Mike. We're not against these people that love them in a different way. It's just not how we do things.
Right. And I'm not against people like that. But you know what? It's not a shock to me when somebody goes, well, I don't know, Booger died. Like, Booger's only a couple, 3 years old, right? Yeah, he's only 3 years old. And trust me, I know there's a Booger out there. I'm not talking about that Booger. I always use that name for people who love their shit to death, you know? So I didn't mean that about you who owns Booger. Keep doing your thing. I love you, brother. But yeah, that's it. Like, I mean, can you imagine you're an animal lover, right? You're on vacation, you're on this great vacation, right? And you're out in this tropical archipelago and you see whatever, a Komodo dragon. You're not going to go boop its snoot.
No.
You're not going to put
it's going to boop your snoot. If you
he's going to boop your snoot. He's going to boop you good. But that's the value that I put on these animals. Yeah. And if you want to,
I think a great closing point for it too is Uncle Mike. I think a lot of people treat it as like a dog or a domestic animal, but the thing that they're forgetting is it's cold blooded. That's the biggest problem that a lot of people I think forget. And all the animals that you can cuddle, like mammals, I've kept mammals. I grew up in a house with monkeys and all that stuff, and we treated them as members of the family, but they were warm blooded and they could go back in their enclosure. This thing at an ambient room temperature, a monitor is not doing. It's not happy. It's getting by.
It's getting by, and it's clinging to you because it's trying to soak up all your 98.6 degrees.
Yeah.
And another thing too, that reptiles as compared to like a dog or a cat. Now, a cat cats. They don't care about nothing. They got to go to the toilet. They're going to their little box. They're kicking sand and they're dumping and burying.
Yep.
A dog, he'll go to the door and he'll scratch. Monitor lizard, you got, people are over at the birthday party and you're showing off your lizard. And, of course, you got to always be careful of the mouth, the talons, and then the tail whip.
Yep.
And there's something everybody always forgets, and I love these posts. Man, he just blew all over me. It's like, dude, that's what monitor lizards do. Yeah. When they relieve themselves, it's not a neat little package. They spray it. They mark their shit. So
it's the first thing they do. I think it's a defense. I could be wrong. It's Sprackland. I guess would be a good person to ask. A defense thing too. As soon as I touch one, it's like instant. They want to empty that load and be more mobile. I'm assuming, but it's like as soon as I get hands on with moving a male out of an enclosure or something, it's first thing. I make sure I'm aiming at someone else.
Yeah. Well, where were we? It had to be. Maybe it was Monitor Fest. Somebody's I forget I think it was a blue tail that was at Waterloo's house. And he's like, "Yeah, did you see the blue tail?" And I'm like, "Dude, point that thing the other way. I'm not looking to get a brooch on my shirt today."
Yeah. I see those ones I saw that one of Bionic Benny with Triton. That he got soaked. I felt so bad for him. I know it's been a while, but I saw that. Now that's the worst because it's happened to me at shows, and you're like, "What do I do the rest of the day?" You're screwed.
Well, it's nice if
I go buy a shirt from somebody else.
If you got money, you're in good shape. You go buy a different shirt.
Yeah.
But if you don't have money and you got to walk, but you know what? Then you just blend in with all the other stanky guys that are.
There was only one problem with the one Uncle Mike when I was where the hell was I? I was in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. It shit on me through my shirt, my underwear, and my jeans.
Ooh.
They don't sell underwear and jeans at a reptile show.
Oh, and you got to go commando. You got to go commando. That's
I
all.
just rocked the stankiness all day. I got a shirt, so it wasn't up here, but anybody this level smelt it.
Hey, here's another little tip from your Uncle Mike. Keep a little bottle of patchouli oil in your pocket, man. No matter how bad you stink, put some patchouli oil on, man. You smell great.
Yeah, we got to do it. Well, now I started carrying clothes in my truck. I can just go change. But that was brutal. I'll never forget that one. That one was bad. I don't remember what monitor it was, but I remember how terrible the rest of the day was.
Yeah, it's not pleasant. But listen, I don't know how long we've been going. We've been going
45.
Hour and 45 minutes. Man, again, Nick, thank you for being my co-host and partner. And I again, whether people take our opinions and get mad at us, that's not our intent. Our intent is to help everybody. Everybody does things different. You do you, I'll do me.
We respect that. I think people think it like we're attacking them sometimes, but it's our opinion. I think we have like a more like an old school outlook on it, where like there is a new school, and we understand that people want to influence and do all that stuff, and it's going to happen. I don't hate on it. It's just not what I would do.
Right. Yep.
And I as someone that loves their monitors, I know that not all of them are taking these precautions that we talk about.
Right. And you know what's funny, Nick, too, then when we go to shows and stuff, like, I don't know if people, like, when they're holding a lizard and they're walking around with it on their shoulder, you're like, hey, Uncle Mike, hey, check out my my mangrove monitor. It's like, oh, hey, that's cool. And they're like, nah, I'm good. I'm good.
Yep.
I would like to come to your house and watch him crawl around in your cage and dig and swim a little bit.
It's funny because it's so weird because like that was the same way I was. I wanted to be hands-on with everything when I was younger. But then once you keep them and you keep a lot of different things, you want to just watch them. Like I want to see how, if I've never seen Obor before, I want to see how they react and what they do. And if they're more like quints are obviously indicus, but they act more water monitor-esque. Where like you would never know that just by handing me one. I would have to go see how that animal reacts in its environment.
Right.
But that's what I enjoy, and just seeing them. Like if you build, like we say all the time, Uncle Mike, you build this giant setup, and just watching how they react with that setup. Those first 10 minutes are what it's for.
And so with that being said, so today, well, actually yesterday was bittersweet day for me. I got rid of the bowline eye.
Mm-hmm.
They kicked my ass. I mean, I it's a hard species to work with. Not everybody is successful. Very rarely. I got him to breed 2 years in a row. Never gotten any eggs out of them. And I just, it's a big animal. They demand a lot of time and respect. And I played out my course with them. So I sent them back home. And in doing so, the cage that I had them in, I had it all decked out like all my cages. And in the meantime, over the past couple of years, all of my other cages, the plants were being abused and, losing a lot of leaves. And so when I got rid of them, I was able to go into that enclosure because I really had a lot of plants in that enclosure. And I just set up today my female Togianus. I put all new plants in there, got it all decked out, and you bet your ass I was sitting in front of that watching that. And what's really cool about it, because those plants had a lot of bowline eye scent on them. Mm-hmm. So to put it in there and just watch how that female Toji reacted to the different smells.
Yeah.
And so the thing that I really love about Togianus, the thing that I really love about Similis is they're always on 10, man. They're not scared, but they're always ready to throw down. Yep. So to see her walking around with her throat puffed down and her neck arched like a diamond.
Yeah.
Oh, I just love that about her. And she was in there. I swear to God, if a bowline eye would have, I don't care how big the bowline eye is, if a bowline eye's head would have popped out from behind something, she would have tore that thing a new ass. Yeah. Because she was all on 10.
It's funny you say that because I guess it's just like another thing about keeping is like, I have the croc monitors in an aisle. They're all in one aisle. I've been moving stuff around because I like things like that. Like I like if it's a pair, I want them next to each other or stuff like that. So I'm not moving things far, and it just helps me mentally to figure everything out. But I have the crocs in an aisle, and I had it where it was female, male with localities, and I forget what I did. I did something, and I moved one of the females closer to the other one, and I watched the one that was already in that cage acting differently. And I don't know if she smelled the scent just through the cage, but then I'm like, man, I don't know if I could do this right next to each other. Because like, is it going to throw off their cycling, or is she not going to want to lay because she knows that there's a female in the area? Like, I don't know. I never really put that into perspective until with the crocs, because she acted totally different knowing that female was on the other side of that wall.
Yeah.
So, it's just another thing. You're always getting thrown curveballs.
So one thing we talk about somewhat, but it's something that you really have to observe, is these animals' perception. Mm-hmm. So I say all the time, in our enclosures, our ambient temperatures are, anywhere from 80 to, 95 degrees with hot basking areas, maybe cool spots, in the water or whatever. But the way they perceive what they don't see, like their natural instinct, their hunch or perception, like they know, wow, beyond this wall here, so it's very cold. You know what I mean? Yep. They might not know the temperature, and I get that, but they understand that, you know, if I ever get out, I'm not going this way because it's very cold over there. Just like you're saying, switching a few animals around, it's like, whoa, that one ain't next to me anymore. They don't see each other.
Yeah, but
they know, man. They know. These are highly intelligent creatures. When we had Crutchfield on, you know, crocodilians and monitor lizards their comprehension level, their understanding, their umwelten of the world in which they live in is, you know, equal to maybe parrots, corvid birds for sure, crows and pied crows and things like very intelligent animals.
And there's definitely different levels of it too. Like there's like within the monitor world and the Varanid world, there's definitely different levels of intelligence within them too. And those crocs are just something else. They seem to know everything that's going on, and they look at you differently. I know everybody says that keeps them, but it's true. They look at you with the net. They know what you're gonna do. It seems like they know what you're gonna do before you do it.
and you know what? I think you're right about that because like the way I see like Similis and Togis, like if you compare them to coming eye water monitors, okay, coming eye water monitors are very intelligent, and you know they lose their fear of people really quickly.
Yeah.
Where Similis and Togianus, they do lose their fear, and I'm sure the Obor and the Tricolors, even Dorianus, are probably in this same boat. Yep. They will become accustomed to your routine, your presence, but they're never going to be to the Aki. You know, Similis is never going to be like an Aki that willingly comes to your hand. They'll come to you.
Yeah,
they're always ready.
I think maybe in years and years of captive breeding, maybe, but like I don't think any, even like second generation is going to be, because the tricolors. I mean, Kathy. There's always an exception with Kathy with hers, but mine, I changed their whole setup, which is pretty cool because now they're out and they're moving. But I was giving them too many places to hide, which is why I think I wasn't seeing any breeding activity. But if I get in that enclosure and fully get into it, they're boom, 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 gone. And they're exactly how you're saying. Like I can never be like, come here. The intelligence level,
the perception of the world. So I think like Togianus, you know, they're not Togianus, Obor, Tricolors, Similis. I think that croc monitors, I think that their intelligence level won't let them unkadu. And when I say unkadu, I mean they won't like coming eye. You know, you keep them so long and they just love you. They want to come by you, and you know they're not afraid of you. Where I think these higher intelligent species of Varanid that really never lose, they never become that unkadu, that trusting of an animal. They may trust you, but when their throat's out and they're coming to you, they're still weary that something could happen. You know what I mean? I think that's an intelligence level. And
again, there's exceptions like Crutchfield that have broken the mold with most of them, but they still are. Their instincts are still there. They're still a croc monitor, and they know they're still a croc monitor. Where you can't completely, I guess, not erase, but almost basically erase their instincts. Where like a coming eye will like almost like act dog-like Shadow. Like I put hands on him, don't even think about it. I trust anybody with him, but any of my croc monitors, no.
Well, you know, and I think a lot of it too, because I see it with your crocs. I see it with other people that are very trusting of some big croc monitors, And
And
you know,
I get it, but it scares the hell out of me.
It-
Every
it
time I see
does.
it gives me a pit in my stomach.
It does,
I
because
see mine.
when you're talking about a guy who makes it look so easy, like Crutchfield, he's been around this stuff his whole life. He's not a young man.
No.
He has the experience and the knowledge, and he knows how to read these animals. I think we know how to read our animals as well. And I think there's a lot of people out there playing with some dangerous animals that, you know, prime example, the okay?
Yeah.
There's a guy who, you're talking about a water monitor.
It's learning ranges. Like if you don't know your range of motion of your monitor, that's like first step. Like I think of I forget what it was. Oh, it was Johnny. Yeah, I love Johnny, but he handed me a Cobra, and I'm 2 hooks, have this Cobra, and I'm thinking to myself, I have no idea what this thing could do. I don't know if it backwards, and then he goes to get. It was actually no, it was a Gaboon. And he said it could flip back on itself, and I'm like, here, I don't know what that does.
Right.
I don't even know how to judge when it's bracing to do that. But if a monitor's coming at me, I know what I need to do to get out of the way.
Right.
And I think a lot, like you're saying, Uncle Mike, these people might have an idea, but they don't have an expert level like Crutchfield. He's been doing his whole life with so many different monitors or reptiles in general. He knows that crocodilian's range of motion when it turns back on itself. And I don't know. I just don't think these people have enough experience to be doing some of the things that they are.
Right. Well, and again,
with this highly, highly dangerous croc monitor.
And again, Nick, it's just like the booping on the snoot, sitting around eating Cheerios, and I don't care how hot your house is. Okay, your house is not conducive with ambient temperatures.
Yeah.
That of monitor lizards. So if your argument is, well, I keep my house really hot. Listen, 72 degrees, that's not hot, man. That's the low end of their operating temperatures. So don't tell me, I keep my room hot.
That's my cooling temperatures for the Indicus.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So with that being said, with the out of the cage, on a leash through the neighborhood where, man, you don't know if the pit bull escaped the backyard. Well, then, and you don't know the signs, short tongue flicks, short repetitive tongue flicks. I mean, that's a startled animal. That's an animal that's ready to make a move on you. If you don't understand that, you're going to get bit. And then, of course, what do they do when they get bit, Nick? What's the first thing they do?
They go to the hospital. They call someone.
They take a picture of it and put it on the internet.
Yeah.
And then
I was going even further and making it a public thing, and then
and then the fun police come.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Whoa, look what this one did to that guy, and look at what that one got in a fight with a pit bull." And
what's crazy, I think a perfect time. It's not about biting or anything, but perfect thing that's happening right now is all these iguanas. Like people are acting like this is a new thing. In my entire life, I've been hearing the same things, and now they have all these AIs where these guys are carrying these handful. I don't care if they're cold. You're not carrying that many iguanas,
right?
You're not carrying them like that, and they're just going to sit there like that. They're going to squirm and get away. But people believe it. What's nuts is I thought I was dreaming because I went to the deli yesterday. It was 5:30 in the morning before I went to work, and I'm walking in, and a bunch of guys are talking about iguanas falling out of trees, and I'm like, am I imagining them talking about this right now? I'm in the middle of Pennsylvania, and they're talking about something that felt like it was in my realm. And I was just sitting there listening to them. Nothing was factual, nothing. Right. But this is what the normal public is hearing, and they believe it. And they believe all these AI things. So it's now give them actual ammunition and see what happens. They're believing something that people like me, I'm looking at them how can you not tell that that's not fake?
Right.
But people believe it. And that's what I think is missed. It's people in the community, we all know that this has been going on our whole lives, but to the not community, they're like, oh my God, there's iguanas falling out of trees, and they're making I saw today they're making pizzas out of them, and all kinds of crazy stuff. It's
you know what? So I have a friend that I went to high school with here in the cold ass Chicagoland area, and and he made a post about and it was almost like he was trying to do like a PSA, like a public service announcement. He's like, yeah, these iguanas falling out of trees, if you get one, you could keep it as a pet. That's the rule. I'm like, dude, that's not the rule.
That's the opposite of the rule.
What the rule is they want you to club it.
Yep.
Okay, number one, and that's just, I ain't never gonna club nothing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you're gonna keep it for a pet, dude. You realize what he just did? Somebody's gonna see that, and they're gonna say, "Oh, I heard this guy say the rule is you can keep it as a pet." Now the kid's gonna build a cage in his backyard. FWC is gonna come by and say, "Hey, dude, what are you doing? It's illegal to keep an iguana in captivity."
Exactly.
And then you get fined.
He's going to get in trouble and be like, well, Joe Schmo said it on Facebook that I could keep it. Right. And I think, Uncle Mike, I think that's the perfect way to kind of wrap this up is like, we can get away from Joe Schmo posting nonsense on Facebook and kind of like take their foundation for public service announcements away from them and go to kingsnake.com and make logical conversation with people that know what they're talking about.
Absolutely. And great way to lead us out. A great episode. And again, keep your eyes out for the up and coming new version of kingsnake.com.
Yep.
And
watch the beginning if you didn't. I mean, that shortcut was so easy. I didn't even know you could do that. It's actually really cool. I'm going to do it with other websites, honestly. But watch that again. And if you have any questions, I'm sure you can reach out to John. I'm sure he'd be happy to help you, or I could help you do the shortcut thing. It's very easy.
Sounds good. You'll be helping me tomorrow.
Yeah. Sounds good. But thanks for tuning in, guys.
Yep. Thank you very much. From Mike's Monitors
and Nicky Nick.
Monitor Brains. We're out.
Monitor Brains. See you guys later.
All right. So, yeah. So we ended up
like I always say, this is all new to me. So we ended the podcast, and I noticed that John was still in, so we brought him back.
I was listening to the stuff you guys were talking about, some of those, and it was just like, I like your point of view on a lot of those. I really enjoy the sentient piece of the of all the different of the lizards, and like it's cool to see so many more people talking about that, realizing that, paying attention to that within the animals and stuff. And it's crazy the different of how intelligent some of them really are. Like you're talking about that with the croc monitors, the way that they really look. Like, I talk about like one of my beateds back here specifically, that one, she'll come and scratch at the side of the enclosure and you'll open it up, put your hand there, she'll climb right on out. And so kind of to your point though, we got to be a little careful about how we show some of those things, because it's taken me a long time to earn that trust mutually with that animal, and to think about that. Whereas then I've got another couple of beateds right below him. Not a chance. Do I trust them anywhere near that? Right. And so
that's a great point, because you showed that to the wrong person. They're gonna be like, I can hold my beaded that way.
Well,
you can't. You just can't start that way.
In all honesty, when you look at Facebook is full of people who are blowing kisses at apex predators. They're cuddling with an apex predator, and you don't necessarily know what's going to startle that animal. You don't know. And again, we've been doing this stuff forever, so we understand body language and even the way they dilate their eyes. If there's a chance something may happen, and people, they just assume that oh, that guy did it, and it's like, and then we see the video of the guy who got his dick bit. I
guess like a more like common, more relatable thing was like when I brought my son home for the first time. I have dogs. I've had my one dog for 7 years. I trust him with anything, but I didn't know how he would react as a newborn baby. So like bringing a new person around that's a lot smaller, and this apex predator that was a wolf or something like that at some time might look at that as prey. So I treated it differently. And like I think people just think that they see a croc monitor, they think it's going to act that way with everybody. And it just takes one bad day. It could take one bad day with my dogs. So
And you know,
you gotta be careful with everything.
And you
Even
say
the
that
ones
with
you trust.
you say that with your dog. Now, a dog is a pack animal, so you are the dominant. You're the leader of that pack.
Yep.
So if he made a move at your son, and you know, it wouldn't take much for you to break him from whatever he's thinking because you're the big dog.
Yeah.
Monitor lizards don't have a pecking order like that. No. They're looking out for themselves. And this is monitor brains, so we're talking about monitors. And then, you know, we're talking about intelligent lizards, beaded lizards, Gila monsters, highly intelligent, varanids, highly intelligent. Then if you start seeing people with reactive species like big retics and berms and African rock pythons, yeah, they might sit there all cuddly with you, and you know, and that's great, but they're reactive. One day you might, I don't know, man, whatever. You don't even know it.
You might have picked your bird beforehand, and you got this bird left on you. Like, there's all these different pieces that we take into account all the time. And like, to your point, we know we can F up, right? Like, and you know, a lot of us know the cost of that and know what that feels like. And some of us, you know, some people more than others, right? And that's kind of the thing of like, I think you mentioned it, and it was a brilliant point about you see some of these differences in the animal itself based on the years of experience, based on your years with that specific animal, your years with that genus, with that species, that then you see that subtle change of like, I see it in your eyes. Like, I know the difference there of what's going on. And you know, back to it too, like with your dog, you were right, man. Like, I remember when I worked at the vet, we had this big Rottweiler that came in, cool dog. Everybody always just like, oh my God, he's so sweet, and would get right in his face. And you know, I mean, his head's huge, right? And that I remember having the conversation with one of the receptionists of just like, yeah, there's no way I'm putting my face in that dog's face like that. It's just, oh, he would never, right? Literally,
I've heard that so many times.
Well, we walk around the corner right after that, right? The dog takes a look at me and just starts growling and everything. And everyone's like, oh my God, I've never seen him do that. Right. But this is the thing of where we have to be aware of those and make the choices of like, if you mess up in that with your newborn child, like that's a big mess up, right?
Big mess up.
With a big croc monitor or something, that's a big mess up. They have big teeth.
Life-changing.
Yeah. Right. I mean, and so that's the thing of like, this is, I think, the bringing it back to like Kingsnake and the censorship piece of it, right?
Yep.
These people get bit by venomous animals and end up losing a finger or something like this, or almost dying. We don't see enough of that story, the pain, the torment, the things that they went through that on Facebook, because it's censored off of there. You can't post it. Yep. And so like, you know, we need to see that full picture of these things.
You know, and that, with that being said, Nick knows exactly what I'm talking about. There was a guy he took a bite from a boega, okay? Not a commonly kept species. It's not an entry level species. So whatever. And I don't believe he got what he was after with that video. So he did another, and now and the whole time we're talking about this, you got to remember, USARK fights for our rights. So as a paying, you know, proud member, and I don't think, and I've had this with other people too, but let me get to this point. So I don't know what the motivation was behind his thing, but he did it again with a hognose.
Okay.
And it's like, my God, so people go to a show, newcomers come to a show, and they're like, hey, Dad, will you buy me this ball python? Oh, a python? Oh, them things get, 900 feet long. Well, what about this one? This is a hognose. The guy says it only gets 3 feet. Oh, yeah. And then the dad goes and he looks up hognose snake. First video that pops up is this guy, and he's marking how much the venom. And I mean, I get it. It could happen. Rarely happens. but it painted a bad light. And, it's just, we got to be careful, man. We got to be careful because they're coming at us from all different angles, and we got to be better than that.
Yeah.
See, well, so this, like, thanks for bringing this one up, because like this is one where I have conflicted feelings all the way around, right? Like, your points are extremely valid, and that it is one where that people that make laws with a very narrow mind or a lack of understanding are doing the wrong things.
Yep.
And so, and then they have some of these examples that they can point to, and these are terrible. The other side of that coin where I struggle is, like, it's actually super fascinating to see what happens then with that animal that we kind of forget is technically a rear fang venomous, right?
Mhm.
And so
Absolutely.
to see that, like, actually, yeah, if you let this thing chew on you for multiple minutes,
And
you're
that's what it was.
gonna swell up like this, and that's kind of what it is. And so, like, I have this huge conflict in my brain, because, like, you have a very valid point, and at the same time, I want to know, right?
Yep.
Like, it's good for us to be aware. And so, like, the same thing on those of, like, well, then, yeah, you're right. Maybe we shouldn't start with that species. Look at the rosy boa instead, that also stays like 3 feet, or like a couple of these other ones that are around, and even some of the other colubrids, right?
Yep.
And so, yeah, I know what you mean, though.
But I think so. To bring this back to Kingsnake.com, people, like you said, it's a community. People are coming there for reptile knowledge.
Yeah.
People on Facebook they're looking at the car accident. They're looking at the neighborhood watch. They're looking at the graduation photos. They're looking at the politics, people fighting over politics. So you're getting such a wide range of people who, again, like we were just talking about the iguanas falling out of the trees.
Yeah. Yep.
People who have no idea what they're talking about, but now they heard it. So at least
Now it's a topic that they can just bring up and be like, really? Wow.
Right. And then, of course, and of course, they're going to elaborate on it. They don't know what they're talking about. So I guess.
And by the end of that story, like 3 people deep, they're jumping out of trees at people. And that story gets misconstrued.
So let me make this point. So it's not so much the subject. It's where the subject is being presented. So that same thing with the hognose, with the boega, with the cobra, whatever the case may be, in the proper setting is useful knowledge.
Yep.
On social media, it's sensationalism, and with the sensationalism comes all the BS against it. So
you hit it right on the head, Uncle Mike. No one, I don't think anyone's going to post. I mean, some people want fame, claim to fame by posting on Kingsnake or something like that, but it's within your peers.
Exactly.
Where, like, on social media, they're trying to profit or whatever it is from it. Where you hit it right on the head. That was the piece that I was missing.
That's like the most brilliantly way to, like, sum it up too. Like, because you're right, it is one of those, and like even just your mindset is different when you're on Facebook or social media or one of those, because you have gone from something that is like ramped up all of your adrenaline or whatever else, because that's how that tricky algorithm works, right? Mm-hmm. And then here's the sorry about that, but here's the hognose one, and you're like, oh man, it's been sensationalized in order to keep up with those other things. Whereas, to your point, if Kingsnake was still the platform that it was back when, you and I both were using it before, then there instead it does become a totally different conversation about, oh, this is super interesting. So that's what happens. Thanks for, taking that one for the team to give us a real life, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, not for nothing. I've never posted anything. I've taken monitor bites, and I have an allergic reaction where, like, I get hives, and I'm really itchy from even just scratches, but I could never post that and talk about it because it would negatively affect the monitors, where Kingsnake, it would be more acceptable, like you said.
Yeah, and you'd have somebody say, hey, I have that same reaction. My cousin doesn't, Yeah. So, again, now we're talking about sensationalism and blah, blah, blah. So I like to think of the monitor, not, of course, the monitor game, there's level, all of this stuff. There's levels to life. And like when I was a kid, okay, and I got my first boa, I was like, oh man, Mom, will you buy me a mouse? You know, I didn't knock the mouse out. I let him crawl around, and I'm an animal lover. Seen that boa hiding behind his water dish, grab that mouse, the mouse, wee. And you know what? What I thought was going to be so cool, it made me, you know what I mean?
You want to grab the mouse back.
Yeah, I didn't want to do that. I felt like I did that to that poor mouse. So the same thing with live feeding videos. You get, crazy as this sounds, live feeding videos, you'll get 100,000 views on that video, and they'll give you your 42 cents, you know. And when you look at the people that are thumbs up in that and throwing you 20 cents or whatever the case may be, they're sickos, man. They are not animal people. They are twisted, demented people. Stop doing that stuff, please. Live feeding, stop it. It's not for us. It's for sick, twisted people.
Yeah.
I like your perspective here, Mike. I really do. And it explains a lot of like where you are with animals and stuff. And I think that this is more of the way that things should be, right? And it's kind of the difference on some of those of like, exactly as you say, somebody for the animals versus not. Like, it was kind of interesting. There was that other guy that got bit by a venomous snake and has now been a huge proponent of do not feed live. Like, that's some terrible stuff that you're doing to those animals. And like, it's good to see more people on that side too of recognizing it. So yeah, man.
Yeah. Like I say, it's when you know, all of us come into this stuff, no matter like the levels, no matter if you're coming in as a young kid or you're coming in as an adult, you know, sure, you're going to be fascinated by the circle of life. However, you see a frog eating a pinky and a pinky squeaking and you can hear it in the belly. That's only cool for the first couple times. And believe me, you get sick. And then you realize, and then again, there's people who do live feedings and then their animal, say a snake, for example, gets bit and they get a secondary infection. Now your beautiful snake is covered in blisters and scarred skin when it's all over with. I mean, we just got to use our brains and don't feed. You can't feed that. You can't feed the bad in this. The people that are in it for the wrong reason, and you got to respect the animals for what they are. And you know, like I said, look at your numbers, look at your people, and the people that like seeing that mouse squeaking, they don't have an animal at all. Let's be better. Let's be better as humans.
I like your style, Mike. I agree with you that, you know, we should all be promoting that, and we should all promote being better people and the lack of violence in that 100%, man. And you know what, man, I really like hearing you talk about that and about how that it's wrong, because more people need to pay attention to that. And if more of us did, it would be better for everyone.
And truly, I don't think it's the guys in the community that are the problem. I think it's these outliers that think they're in the community. But with enough of us preaching it, I think they're gonna have to almost conform and not be doing this stuff because it's wrong. And you see, we've talked about it before, but you see one guy doing it, he disappears because everybody goes against him, and another one pops up. We just got to keep headstrong and keep on
disappearing these people. Don't give them what they want. That's the attention. So, or you know what?
Well, that's back to the thing of like Kingsnake, as to why Kingsnake will be better on those, right? Of like those threads and stuff will not be interacted with within those. They're not going to get paid for that sort of stuff. So the sensationalism in any of those, there's no tricky algorithm that's going to pump that back up, even though it's bad, right? Like that's, I don't know. I'm a big proponent of that. I'm excited about kind of seeing the way the community rallies behind whichever different things and seeing what kind of change can come through some of that, like where we can have the full on discussion about all sides of it. Right.
Yeah. No, I'm excited for the forums. I definitely am.
Yep.
I'm tired of the social media algorithms and seeing all that stuff. It gets,
you know, John, me and Nick talk about this all the time. It's like, Facebook and Instagram, it's a blessing and a curse. Like, you got to do it because you're producing animals and you got to get the knowledge out there. and you got to sell animals, so you got to be in the loop, so to speak.
Yep.
But man, to navigate through, let's keep it.
I'd rather be here changing water bowls and picking up turds.
Yep. And I don't need to hear about who you like for president or senator. Dude, you know what? I want to be there for the animals, man. All that other political stuff and just everything. I like, I got 8 kids. They're all grown. And I got grandkids. So I get to see their cheerleading. I don't need to see everybody's, cheerleading and graduation photos. And that's great. I do have a lot of friends that I enjoy seeing that. Yep. But I do see a lot of people that I don't have any idea who these people are, and they're coming across my feed.
Yep. Well, the one I don't understand either is like, how come if I subscribe to a group in Facebook and then I go into like my groups and that, why is nothing in there? The groups that I'm subscribed to, it's all a bunch of other stuff that you think I want to see. No, I specifically joined the monitor group because I want to look at monitor stuff. I specifically joined the BOA group because I want, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and so I think that's the other thing where I'm super excited about Kingsnake, and that is that keeping it just to reptiles. The same sort of thing, like we get inundated with people of like, oh, can we put this ad up about this different thing? No, you can't. Yep. Can we write this article about this thing that is not pertaining to reptiles? No, you can't. I mean, you could write it, but we're not putting it on our site, right? Like that. This is the thing of it needs to be that place where that it's an easy escape from those. You can go look at just reptile stuff, just amphibian stuff, interact with our community, which, sure, there's, like you said, there's the cliques within cliques and the groups within groups in this. But at the same time, I like the expos because that it is a huge group of people. And they, at least at the expos, we all kind of, as you said, remember, we're all here because we like these cool animals and this different stuff that's all here.
That's probably one of the biggest things I remember from Kingsnake. When I was a kid, even my dad's like, when's the next show? And we go on Kingsnake and see when the next show is. So it's cool that.
And to brush on something that you just said, John, and I know, Nick, you'll agree with this. When, we know a lot about people we interact with because of social media, more than we need to know. Because when you're on social media and somebody says different about your opinion of this or that, it's neither here nor there. It seems like I don't get involved because, and I want to, there's times when I'm like, that doesn't even make sense, bro. Yeah. But when you're at a show, nobody talks about Trump. Nobody talks about Nancy Grace or Epstein
Island.
Nobody talks about that shit. It's all about animals and, hey, how you doing?
Yeah. Right. It's finally like, yes, I get to get away from all that stuff and just nerd out with a bunch of people that enjoy animals. And I'm going to tell them about whatever niche thing I'm super into. They're going to tell me about theirs. And then we're going to trade pictures and stuff. And then, you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Well, you know what? A perfect example is a guy I know. I've known him my whole life. He's not really into monitors, but he posted today a tree monitor just dumping eggs all over the place and was getting them and excited about it. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, oh, I want to write that that's not how it's supposed to happen. But I'm like, I'm going to see him this weekend. I'm just going to tell him because I know what's going to happen. I'm making him look bad. I'm not making myself look that great because it looks like I'm attacking him. And it's like, I'll just tell him this weekend. And that's, I feel like, how it's supposed to be and how it used to be. So I'll just talk to him about it this weekend and we'll figure it out, his nesting situation.
Yeah. Well, those are ones too. Like, I'm curious, kind of back to it of like, does that change if it's in Kingsnake, right? Like, can we adjust that with each other where that we're, I don't know. I'm a glass half full kind of guy is just how I tend to be. Right. And so like, there's this part of me that really hopes by us not being our nerves being so fried from all the bullshit, all the garbage from, Facebook that is trying to feed us to get us to engage, which really just means to irritate us or whatever else.
Yeah.
Like, will that put us in a better way for communicating, like on the forums? So that's
where I was going with it. I think that will change with Kingsnake because it's people like-minded helping each other instead of like, you're doing this wrong at a social media platform. I think it will change. And I hope so.
Me too. I mean, quite frankly, right? Like with us discussing it and such, like if we want to see that change, we'll make those influences. And I think most of us want those kind of changes, right? Most of us don't really want to fight with our neighbor. Most of us really want to learn from each other. And that, yeah, if you came at me and like, oh, dude, like don't do that way. Like this is going to cause issues. Like here's a couple of ways to do it. It might hurt my ego a little bit, but then when I also know that you're somebody in here in this specific spot,
definitely,
which is also when we've been talking about of like by having some of these people that are going to write articles, write the locality morph stuff and whatever for that section. How do we basically like alert everybody that like, hey, this is the dude that wrote the book. You know what I mean? So that then when you see that too, the same thing, it's not this person's trying to attack me on any of this. This is somebody that legitimately knows that is taking the time out of their day to help teach me. And I think you're right. I think our brains will switch that little bit as we're in a different section.
Yeah. And I think that's something that like from firsthand experience on here, like we just talk and I never expected, I guess, people to reach out back to me like, hey man, you helped me exactly in the situation that I needed. Like it was so weird. I was watching your podcast and I tuned in because you hit the nail right on the head. And I just didn't expect that. But I think it's like you said, it's just taking it away from that social media and us just talking on here. I'm not coming at you. We're just talking knowledge. That's all it is. And I think that'd be the same on Kingsnake.
Right. It's all good things in the future, right? Like this is what we're hoping for.
Man, you got me. I said it 10 times on here, but I'm pumped. I'll be on there tonight.
It makes me happy, man. It makes me happy, dude. Like it really does. And so I appreciate that. And because we're trying, we don't I don't have big money in that. We're small. We're kind of just trying to bring this along, trying to do this for the community. This is very much going to be a grassroots effort. We don't have a bunch of marketing money, any of those. It's just
it hits home with us because that's exactly what we're doing.
And with that being said, you just know that you got an ally with me and Nick here. Anything you need as far as what we know, I mean, I never put my nose where I don't know, but anything monitor related, cage building, bioactive, and ecosystems, which are self-contained. We're all about helping, nesting, whatever.
Uncle Mike, you said you don't put your nose where you don't belong, but in this AI thing, you're going to be putting your nipple where it doesn't.
Oh my goodness, Nick.
The beginning of this episode, people will understand what I'm talking about, but your nipple might be in places it doesn't belong.
Hey, my nipples are used. They've been there a little bit. They're sensitive, but I know you'll be Nick. I know you'll be gentle.
Hey, AI me might be gentle. I'm not going anywhere near those nipples, Uncle.
Well, I don't know, man. AI hasn't been too kind to me with that.
That was brutal with the sweatshirt. That was crazy. I was dying laughing. The funny part is when I did it, I didn't even notice it at first, and I'm like, "That's a nutsack."
It would be as a
yeah, that was funny.
So listen, hey man, I could sit here and talk all night, but I'm hungry, man. I haven't eaten nothing. It's 8:30, so I got to go up and get a little mange, get a little grub on, and man, John, I'm glad that you popped back on. Thank you for sitting backstage like that. And Cindy, it didn't plan that way. Cindy probably went outside to have a cigarette, and you stayed at the computer. So there you go. That's another thing I got to do.
Pretty much, yeah. It was great listening to you guys. Thank you guys very, very much for having me on, having Cindy on, having Kingsnake on. Thank you guys for the support. It means a lot, and thank you again.
Absolutely. No, we'll be there for you, and we're hoping it takes off, man, and I'm sure it will.
As Buzz Lightyear said, you have a friend in me.
Hey, that means a lot. That means a lot. You know what I mean? Like it does, because this is kind of the thing of just us getting through it. And Mike, I look forward to meeting you in Tinley.
Absolutely.
And Nick, I'm a little disappointed I won't meet you there, but I'm sure I'll see you at some other expo.
Come out to Hamburg. You'd enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's a great show.
I would. Yeah. And then it'd also have to try to do this the whole time and not go home with stuff, right?
Yeah.
My problem is I already have pre-planned purchases, so I can't buy more stuff because I already have stuff coming home.
Yep. Sounds about right.
Yeah.
That's a good way to do it, though.
Every show. I can't come home empty-handed. I don't think I ever have, to be honest.
I I've made it through a couple of them now.
Wow.
My wife really makes sure to push me on those. Like when we're bending and stuff, she's like, look, you cannot bring something home every expo now because you're going to too many of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so another hobby that I'm into is guns. I love guns and shooting, and that's a problem when I go to gun shows. Like, oh man, and they're telling you all the new features. It's like, oh, I don't need another one. So Nick, what I got to start doing at the reptile shows is what I got to do at the gun shows. So I'll buy a range bag, or I'll buy extra ammo. So when I go to the
it fills the void.
I got to start buying heating pads or logs or cork bark instead of keep buying animals. So
you'd be bad going to Hamburg, Uncle Mike, because right down the street there's a gun show. You double whammy.
Nice.
Ooh, see,
and usually not every time, but most times they are same day.
Yeah, you know what? I got to learn my lesson and just buy ammo or a new grip or something, you know.
Yeah.
But hey, man, again, John, thank you for coming on. Kingsnake.com. It's going to take over the world. And, we're going to push it too. So,
thank you.
As a matter of fact, we don't have to do it right now, but me and Nick will talk to you before Tinley, and I'll talk to you at Tinley. We got something in store maybe you're interested in.
Let's talk.
And like I said, man, this is a community. Whether it's click, it doesn't matter. The big picture is we're all into reptiles and amphibians, and we got to work together, man, and stop all the division stuff. It's always going to happen, and this don't have to be in the show, Nick, but
it is too. Like, I mean, it's kind of cool. Like Nick Mutton and Yasser, like those guys used to go at it. And so they're both local to me up here. And so they were both at one of the last shows. And so I'd talk to him just like, shit, man. I mean, it's like core memories for me, reading you guys like go at it in those, and just the amount that I learned about breeding and just different stuff. I mean, like, I don't breed pythons or Morelia or any of this stuff or colubrids or any of this that they work with, but you know, still it's applicable and it was interesting. And so it was super neat to have gotten a photo with both of those guys together, both wearing like Kingsnake shirts and stuff at the last expo. Is pretty fucking cool, man.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
That sounds good, and I look forward to taking a picture with you with the shirt. And and then we got to get Nicky Nick back out there.
Of course, the one I'm not going to, but
well, you know what? October is always a better show, anyway. So
or maybe we can get him out to Monitor Fest.
Oh, hey, you know what? That's another thing. Whether you come out to Monitor Fest or not, if you could send me like I don't know, a little banner or something that I could put up there, that'll bring more people to you, and that's good.
Yeah, thank you, absolutely. Let's talk about that one and see when that one is, because
that's in May, right, Uncle Mike?
Yeah, that's in May.
Where is it?
It's in Manuka, Illinois, by Brian Waterloo. He throws it, so it's literally about an hour and a half from my house. And I do a lot of
either, right? It's like what, an hour and a half from Tinley, hour from Tinley?
Okay.
Yeah, it's probably less than an hour from Tinley.
Okay.
It's very close to Tinley. But I'll introduce you to Brian at Tinley. And I do a lot of the promotional for it because Brian, he can't take much of social media. So I do a lot of the pushing for it and getting the word out. And you know, Adeline Robinson, she does all the artwork for the show. It's a man. I'm telling you, it's a love fest, man. It is, ain't it?
It's a great time to just hang out with people from literally all over the country.
Yep,
I love it. I'll have to look it up more specifically and see if I can see what we can do.
Yeah,
we're trying to budget in the different ones and get to some of the different stuff. And so if that's yes.
And like I say, if you can't make that, if you could send me a banner, I'll put the banner up. There's a guy who comes from your neck of the woods, Jeremy Rigdon.
Oh, I know that name.
Yeah, he comes down every year.
Okay. Why do
He's from
He does
Portland.
it does coming eye mostly. The yellow-headed monitors. That's
Okay.
Yeah, he's from Portland area, so
Okay, yeah, he's close then. Yeah, I'm sure
Yeah.
I've seen him at shows. Like the name's familiar. I just can't put his face to it right now.
yeah, he's kind of a low key guy, but he's
dude.
coming up. He's doing really good stuff. So
I like it.
again,
I'll let you go eat.
Yep.
Absolute pleasure. I'm looking forward to chatting with you guys more. Hit me up anytime.
thank you so much, John. It was a pleasure meeting you and interviewing you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
See you guys
Nicky Nick. Thanks,
out.
Nicky Nick. We're out. Monitor Brains.
See you guys.
Bye. Bye, Nick.